Okay. Three, two, one. Not sure how to start this, but let's start with hello. It's me, Random Rambles, or rather, Evan. But still, same thing. Here in the virtual flesh. Hello, everyone. This is what I look like. I know. I know you weren't expecting me to look like this. Hell, I didn't expect to look like this. But hey, we're here. We got fucking. You can see shit behind me. That's where I sleep. That's where I put my fucking head every night. Right there. All right. So here we are. Episode 3. What's up, everybody? We're live and alive. We're back at it. This episode, glad I grabbed my phone so I remember to turn the ringer off. So this episode is going to be about episode 3, all things drugs, modern masculinity, and then some little circle time reading at the end. So it's funny that I have these plans and like topic ideas sometimes, and whatever I feel that like just comes to me, I'm like, all right, let's do that. So I just felt like with episode 3, I'm like, yo, let's talk about drugs because I have a whole list of different kind of drug stuff to talk about. And then just so coincidentally earlier tonight, I was watching Eric Kahn's stream, and he was on a page on the New York Times that was talking about basically different levels of weed and drug legalization across the country right now because it was like election. Today's filmed this on November 8th on election day, so that also reminded me to, yo, you should talk about drugs on the podcast because here's like new states. Like we'll bust it out right now. Actually, what was it? There we go. By the goddamn New York Times, Jesus. Okay, so Maryland, as of right now, 66% of the votes are in. The possession and use of cannabis would become legal for people 21 and older starting July 2023. 65.5% for yes. So, shout out Maryland. And then we got Missouri. Good old Missouri. Sweet taste sip in Missouri. We got the possession and use of marijuana become legal for people 21 and older. At yes, 53.2%. So, only. And that, okay, that's 87% in. So, that's like locked in, bro. So congrats to fucking everybody smoking the fuck up in Missouri. Let's see. So now next we have North Midkota. Possession and use of cannabis become legal for people 21 and older. 95 about greater than 95% of the votes are in, and 55% no. So fuck you, North Midota. Then we got fucking Arkansas. Like, this place doesn't even exist. They're 56% no, and 85% in for possession and use for people 21 and over, and the commercial sale of it. So, fuck Arkansas. You're not even the original Kansas. Kansas is better. You're just a fake little bitch. So, fuck you. Let's see. Colorado. Ooh, okay. Honestly, it's very fucking close considering it being Colorado, but the Prop 122 to decriminalize and regulate certain psychedelics, the possession and use of certain psychedelic plants and fungi would be decriminalized for people 21 and older, and the state would create new regulations for the distribution and administration of these substances. 64% in, we got 50.7%, 50.7 that are yes, 49.3 at no. So that is like, shit. That is very close. And now we have South Midota. Fucking 71% in, 54% no, versus 45% yes on possession and use for adults. And that's where we're at so far. So, shouts out to everyone except fucking Midota and Arkansas. You guys fucking suck. And or aren't real. But, yeah, shouts out. And, yo, Colorado? Honestly, from being the people that literally a decade ago pioneered and like kicked off this new green revolution, I'm high-key surprised that it's that fucking close, bro. Seriously? Like, let's break it down here. Where we at? 80, fuck me, I can't number. 844,110 people voted yes on Prop 122. 819.900. Oh, fuck. I can't fucking number. 819,927 people voted no for legalizing whatever the fuck in Colorado, with a total of 1,664,037 votes total. Again, only 64% in, but for it being Colorado and it being that fucking close, I'm honestly surprised. Like, it's kind of mids Colorado. Didn't you, was it like, no, was it? I could have sworn they had some other shit with Sykes not too long ago that like passed. Or maybe that was like Oregon or something. Or maybe Washington. Some fucking hippie place. But that's where we're at so far. The only one that's like locked in, was fucking, what was it, Missouri? At like 80 or 95%. Okay, yeah, so 80%, 87% for Missouri, and that looks like it's locked in. Oh, and it was North Mendota that was fucking 95% in. So yeah, fuck North Mendota, fuck South Mendota, fuck Arkansas, and shouts out Missouri, Colorado, everybody else. Maryland, go Baltimore. Yeah, that's fucking sick. I hope to see more stuff coming down the pipeline, more legislation. You know, it's a matter of time, man. It is a matter of time. This shit's gonna happen. This is like it's like the 1930s, right? But all over again in the future, like cyclical, where it's like you can't have booze, and then everyone still wants to drink. So then you have to go black market. People getting fucked up. It's all shady. You're giving all this money to these fucking shady organizations, right? But then as soon as they're like, all right, maybe let's regulate it and can like be able to, as soon as let's have Uncle Sam get a piece of this pie, and then we'll figure it all out. Fast forward now, bitches are drinking fucking White Claws and dudes are getting fucked up on Natty Lights. So I feel like that's where we are with weed or cannabis right now, where it's like, motherfucker, everyone smokes, right? And if you don't smoke, whatever, but a lot of people do smoke, and the demographics are changing a lot as well. It's not just people like me that smoke like all the fucking time or smoke daily. Like, there's people's grands in there. There's people that have never consumed before. Hell, my mom's even tempted to like do stuff like that, and she's not in that realm or anything to do with that. So like, it's not just people like me that are like still backpacking and like making it. I mean, hell, a lot of black market brands are turning legit and turning legal and going like, it's coming, man. The green revolution's coming. I would say the over under about 5 or so years. It's gonna break, and it's gonna come in, and it needs to. I know people talked about forget what exactly the reasoning behind it, but it was basically not being for the full legalization of cannabis, but rather just the decriminalization or some shit like that. My angle and my way of looking at it is that if it's regulated, or if anything, if we could like deschedule it, put it back so we can get more research and all this shit, right? And be able to, you know, really hone in on the whole medical side. But it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I have so many things, so many angles. It's just crazy to think about, like, because I mean, okay, all of this started, right, over just prejudice, right? Legislation based off of prejudice, right? This group of people we think is associated with doing this thing, therefore we're going to make that bad illegal, boo, 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 right? So this has been fucked up since the beginning, right? And now, I understand right now, and I too am frustrated, that because of the restrictions federally and how every state's kind of left to their own devices, it's made the market very different and worked in very different ways, but some better, some way worse. Canada, I mean, it's a give and a take. It's awesome that they federally legalized it. It's fucking crazy that Uber is like partnering up with like dispensaries so you can just Uber Eats weed. That's sick. But the way, like, I believe the brand's called Atria, some shit like that. There's basically one fucking company that has like all of like the corporate. They're basically like the Disney of bud up there, and everything like disseminates from them. And there's not really, as like a consumer and as like a market, it's not really fair, and it's fucked because I'm watching you, little cheeky cunt. They're already coming to states like, let's say, Washington, Oregon, for example, and depending on the legalization per state, they're able to come in and basically just bulldoze all the mom and pop shops and basically Walmart of weed, because they have all of this venture capital, they have all of this funding, and the barrier level, like in California, shit's ridiculous. It's like $1 million just to get the license, and that's not even including everything you have to put in to get the license. You're literally paying a fucking milli just to be able to get the paper that says, yeah, this guy can do this, not including the shit you have to spend to get that fucking paper to begin. Like, huh? What am I paying for, a fucking diploma that said graduate high school? Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. So obviously, grassroots mom and pop shops, we ain't got $1 million lying around. We can't even throw 250K into something like that. It's insane. And especially, oh my god, the amount of money that it takes, depending on the state, like California, for example, the barrier to entry is super high, and that only allows for companies like Altria, whatever the fuck, that have capital, that are more established, if you will, to just come in and dominate the whole market like McDonald's. And it's fucked because then the people who have been most impacted and most negatively affected by it, and still to this day by it, are all getting squeezed out because you have these fucking corporate jakes coming in and just, hi. They don't even consume the product. They don't even, like, they're, a lot of the biggest thing, well, not the biggest, but another thing that really grinds my gears about that is a lot of corporate people from, like, Anheuser-Busch or whatever said fucking beer monopoly, they're basically, these giant cannabis companies are basically sniping their people. So, like, the fucking COO of Anheuser-Busch is now working for fucking Greenleaf Media, and it's some giant conglomerate cannabis company. Like, that shit's fucked, bro. That shit's fucked. Because, in a way, this money, the amount of money and the revenue that's being generated, not only circle back to what I was talking about before, but there's many different ways for this money that will be made from the legalization of this whole new market. There's a lot of different ways we can spend the money, right? And, like, ideally, and what's kind of happening, but it's pretty fucked, like in states like Illinois, for example, taxation being, like, making weed uber taxed just because right now is killing the market. When the same company not only has to basically produce, like in Illinois' case, right, cookies, right? They can't just take their seeds, take their genetics, whatever the fuck, and then grow that, do that in Illinois. No, that's illegal. You'd be drug trafficking, right? Internationally drug trafficking. So as a result, you have to go to said place, you have to go to Illinois, and then basically make that shit up there and try and recreate what you already got going there. Maybe, I think, okay, maybe seed transportation's legal. I don't think having seeds is illegal, but you catch my drift. It's not very easy for you to be able to take your operation from one place and set it up in another place and operate it the same way, even though it's both legal, right? Because the market is just super fucked. So you have Illinois, for example, where a cookie's half-gram cart, out the door, rec person, I'm paying over $100 for that, right? That's fucked. Especially considering if I'm in California and I'm a rec patient getting the same product, right, from the same company, and I'm out the door paying half as much, maybe even less, depending on whatever, right? That's fucked, and that's going to kill a lot. That's part of what would kill a lot of up-and-coming and smaller grassroots companies, is the fact that not only does it take so much capital just to be able to get your foot in the door, but then you have to compete with everybody else's product, but on top of that, you also have to compete with just people's wallets in general. Like, I understand, and like for example, booze has a death tax, or cigarettes has a death tax, right? An arbitrary extra tax that we decide to put on it because fuck you, it kills you, right? That in a certain way is understandable because of the results of what can happen from said consumption of those substances, right? I don't know what those taxes are, but I don't want to look it up and get distracted. I don't know what those taxes are, but obviously those taxes aren't so high that the barrier to entry for people that want to consume it drives consumers away, right? There isn't damn near a 40% fucking tax when you're trying to get a fucking handle of vodka, right? We're not taking a $15 bottle of booze and making it like 45 bucks out the door for no fucking reason because it's still a $15 bottle of booze. Like, we just can't be doing this shit. And then we have states like Florida, for example, where it's only medical, or other states where it's only medical. It's just, dude, it's just fucked. It's just fucked. And I understand, and I'm not against the. If I'm having my money taken from me, and part of why I'm okay with and support legalization full blown is that if the resources, the revenue that's been generated from this source is actually distributed and actually put back into the community and actually is used for the betterment of not only myself but just the community I'm around, like they're supposed to, right? Then that's cool, right? I'm sure, make parks, let's get better schools, let's get better textbooks, let's get better fucking roads, please, better roads, right? In theory, ideally, when that's happening to a certain point of taxation, right, I'm willing to pay that much because I know, okay, the drive over here, it's not going to fuck up my car as much because the money I'm paying in for this bud is directly going to go pay to make sure these roads are smooth, so I'm not going to on the way of the dispo. It's just smooth, right? But when you get it to a point where you're charging as much in tax as like another whole other products, that's absurd. And you're, like I said, you're going to turn away consumers, you're going to turn away customers because especially when there's the same product or other products priced differently, or people can source other things elsewhere for cheaper, they're not gonna buy. And that's the other thing too that fucks up legalization. No hate, but the way that these legal markets are ran and thus far is making the black market thrive, right? And I don't necessarily, I'd say I support the gray market more. I don't have a problem with manufacturers and whatever that have the excess of said product, and because of these bullshit restrictions aren't able to get out said product in a legal way, them doing it under the table, so to speak, and you're hitting a street cart but it's literally the same shit you get at a dispo. Gray market, that's fine, but where it gets fucky is the black market, and what starts your whole vitamin E acetate, people getting popcorn lungs, is because, and part of why legalization is a good thing is without this regulation, it's some Walter White shit. People are making shake and bake with fucking carts and selling it for $30 a thing, and then people are getting fucked up because all they consume are these carts, not knowing they have fucking all this bullshit in it, right? Or the carts are sourced from China and the fucking metals are leaking. All this shit, right? As a consumer, when you're buying products, especially in the modern era, the whole point, I'm pretty sure there's even a government a branch of the government that was made specifically for protecting the consumer. Because before, for a long time, there's fucking cyanide in fucking baby formula and fucking piss in your fucking water. Like, they didn't really give a shit, and they saw how fucked up people got and the population got because of lack of regulation regarding what people are consuming, right? So when we're in this gray and black market where people want to consume, because people, at the end of the day, the forbidden fruit effect, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do, and you telling them not to do said thing makes the allure of doing said thing increase, right? It's like some little kid shit or like some puppy dog cat shit, but it's real, right? The more you're not allowed or have less access to something, the more enticing that thing becomes, and the more you want to do said thing. So by telling people you're not allowed, you don't have access, whatever, there's going to be people, a portion of the population, that will go out and go even further than maybe they would have before, just to spite said thing for telling them they can't do it. Like, oh, I can't go drink 15 beers? Fuck you, pussy. I'll go drink 15 beers right now. Right? So there's that aspect to it as well. But then also, like I was talking about before, with a lack of regulation, lack of oversight, and I mean, we're even seeing this in the meat industry and with like dairy, or not dairy, with like pork and chicken and shit, but a lack of oversight and making sure that, shit's safe and that people are consuming, people are getting fucked up, and not in the way that they want to be getting fucked up, in the way of like, permanently injuring themselves or fucking dying, all from doing shit that ideally in this market would have been prevented in the first place, because there would have been safety measures implemented before said consumer had ingested that product. Like, it's really fucking simple, but at the same time it's not. And I understand I'm just some jack off sitting in my room just talking about this shit, but these ideas and the steps to take to implement these ideas aren't as hard or out of the fucking world than it may seem to be, We can take steps to make this more approachable, more manageable, and we'll be able to, it's just frustrating because, especially because it's so common now, the use of cannabis and the consumption of cannabis, right? It's not even socially, or there really isn't any much stigma anymore surrounding it, right? Like I said, there's a whole demographic from soccer moms to grandmas to first-time smokers to nerds, people like me. Like, everybody's going, throwing down, getting high, going, smoking, eating weed and shit, right? But at the same time, we're having these rules and laws and regulations and systems that make it either really hard to get said product in consumers' hands, or are only increasing the criminal element that is tied to said thing, right? Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that around the time and after, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the mafia was doing pretty good when booze was outlawed, and they were the only source you could go to get that shit. And then when Uncle Sam stepped in and was like, no, I'm gonna start running this shit. When's the last time you ever bought booze from a fucking greasy Italian dude outside, huh? Psh, I bet you even your parents haven't done that. I'd say your grandparents might not even have done that, okay? So, my point being, by regulating and having a system in place where not only are we able to protect the consumer, but then we're able to take the funds, because that's the other thing, that's the other kicker. Not only are people consuming shit that isn't good for them and that could hurt them and whatever the fuck, but then you're giving a fuck ton of money to these underground criminal elements that would otherwise could go to other things and not fund fucking violence, drug trafficking, human trafficking that happens all across the world, that is in part funded by the governments and by the legislation that outlaw these things and outlaw the regulation of these things, which is like an Ouroboros, and it just helps, it just keeps going in a circle, right? Well, a proven way, and this has already been shown and has already been happening here in the dirty Southwest, right, along the U.S.-Mexico border, right, the cartels, the Mexican cartels over the past decade or so, have tapered off and have started not only not trying to bring weed over the border, but switching over to other drugs and manufacturing other drugs, because at the end of the day, this organization, they just want to make money, right? They don't give a fuck. It's money at all costs, right? So before, in stateside, when shit was illegal and you didn't have access to it, but people still wanted to consume it, they had to go to the black market. They had to find these criminal elements in order to get the product that they want. And often, because it's a criminal element, right, and, you're doing a drug deal, it's not like you can give the money to fucking said dude and then look at it and be like, there's seeds in this. This is kind of mids. Can I get my $40 back? Like, that's not how that fucking works, bro. So, by the U.S.-Mexico border, having legalized cannabis in multiple states along the border, I think everyone except Texas, right? The cartels have stopped trying to ship weed over and trying to, like, get weed over the border, because the shit that we're growing and have here domestically, just as a market, recreational, medical, whatever the fuck, and, like, There's a great fucking video on it. Like I think it was a Vice, a little video like interview with the cartels. But homeboys are out in the middle of fucking Oaxaca just chopping up some like fentanyl paste or coke or some shit, and they're talking about how they stopped throwing weed over the border because the shit we got stateside is better than what they got, and the quality that we have is way better. So for them, business wise, it doesn't make sense for them to even try and push that product anymore. So that's why in the past 5 years especially, they can get all the chemicals, they brought over all the, like literally some Walter White shit they got from all these Chinese chemists, and now the production of fentanyl, which started out primarily in China, has now been brought over and is done here domestically, so the cartels are making a fuck ton of fentanyl and mixing that with other drugs because it's easier to smuggle, it's more potent, the demand for it's still there, right? So even in this small example, right, between these two countries, legalization and regulation and decriminalization and taking these steps have all actively led to the defunding of criminal elements and to the refunding or funding of the people, the communities, what they're supposed to go into, right? Like I said, what taxes are supposed to go into for schools, roads, bridges, houses, community shit, all that. When that actually works and is being implemented, and the money that 15, 20, 30 bucks that would otherwise go to the criminal element and then just disappear in the black market, right? That same 20, 30, $40 is then going into the legal market that then turns into money that is that can be taxed and then used for, like I said a billion times, community purposes. And we've already seen within the states that have legalized and have done all these different levels of regulation, decriminalization, and all that. Individual states have made billions of dollars. Billions of fucking dollars. Individual states. Colorado, $5 billion or something crazy like that, right? I can't even imagine. I think California is the largest cannabis market in the world. Like, in the world, it's insane, right? So having that be legal and regulated, and I understand, I hear you fucking little yipes in the fucking comments being like, but actually California is regulated and it's still like, what? Suck the tip of my dick, okay? Yes, I understand that even in California, where it's like the most lax, they're giving fucking bud to 15-year-old kids that walk in, right? Even there's still a black market, gray market, whatever the fuck. Like I said prior, that has to do with legislation and how each state decides what goes into what, right? For example, not too long ago, I guess it was a few years back, I think it was Oregon or Washington, I think it was Washington, had they produced a fuck ton of weed, like a shit ton. It might have been Oregon. One of those two little fuckers up there. They made so much bud, but because of the laws surrounding cannabis, they weren't allowed to export it or take it across state lines. They produced so much bud that you're getting top tier, high, like the god tier ounces and zips and eights for dog water prices. We're talking $5 eights, dollar nugs, crazy shit of, like I said, the top, all because we have these stupid rules and laws set up where your excess, in two states that are right next to each other, that are both legal, both medical, both rec, right, can't cross lines legally and abort an imaginary fucking line that we set up and put some signs. They can't pass that with a substance that's fully fucking legal in both states. They can't go across the state lines and try and, do an exchange, help with companies, like with vertical integration and, product, what is it called? Making sure all your products are like, God, what is that word? Quality control. Making sure all your shit's like the same no matter where you go, right? Because of stupid little arbitrary rule, we don't have that. So these two states that are both, and even Cali, the whole fucking West Coast is super green, but nobody can share notes with each other, and everybody's producing a whole fuck ton of it. So now it's just kind of going to waste, and then that bud goes to the black market. Like I said before, the excess from the clear market or from the white market, whatever the fuck you want to call it, from the legal market, the excess of that, because of the way we have it set up right now, is being put onto the gray and onto the black market. But ideally, if we did our legislation properly, we would make measures and set it up to where anybody's excess would be able to fill, what's the term, from one's own to his each own. It's basically you give as much as you can, and like it goes in a community thing, right? So if Oregon's up here like, man, I'm really low on bud, we need bud, Washington can come and be like, yo, we got a fuck ton of bud, bro, here you go, and just give a whole bunch of bud. So now legally in the legal market, everyone can smoke, there isn't a shortage, there isn't a surplus, whatever, and things can work out. And then maybe ideally that would shift more towards gray market and stamp out the criminal element and the bad parts of the black market that are currently able to thrive and survive because of the restrictions of said substances. And I understand things like prescription medication, that also. Drugs, it's hard, man. It's hard. But when it comes to something like cannabis, where the effects of it aren't as detrimental, objectively as detrimental to your overall well-being and health, versus other things that are, I'm not going to be this fucking r/atheism 13-year-old little fucking awoken atheist of like, why is booze legal but it kills you, and weed's not legal but it's good for you? But unironically, that sentiment is true. It's fucking stupid the way we make these things, and we're like, yeah, no, you can smoke those death sticks and get cancer, bro, $5. But oh, you want to smoke a joint in your own house? How about I shoot you, motherfucker? Like, it's really, we're just being stupid about it. But hopefully with this green roll tide that's coming in, we'll be able to talk about and make legislation and make regulation and decriminalization that actually can help people. The first step being, and hopefully we're going there and taking steps doing it in Colorado, is by decriminalizing or rescheduling substances. That is a huge small step in the way of opening up the door to all kinds of great opportunities in the future, because right now the hang up is we can't do medical research and look into it because federally this shit's like, what, worse than meth, or is like the same as heroin, some stupid bullshit that we all know. And that's the most infuriating thing, is that everyone knows. The feds know. We know. Everyone knows. The scheduling, all this laws, it was made just to oppress people. Just straight up. It was like, oh yeah, this group of people likes it. Fuck them. You can't do that shit anymore. And then being super harsh about that, right? It's all out in the air. We all know it's a bullshit arbitrary thing. No one's out here. It's not fucking say no to drugs. It's not 1984 with Nancy Reagan being like, crack is the same as weed. Like, no, motherfucker. Everyone knows. Like, if anything, we're finding out because of the ability, due to legislation and regulation and decriminalization, we're able to find out medically a lot more about cannabis that we didn't know before. It's not just sativa, indica. Technically, genetically, on the biological level, they're the same fucking thing. I know. It broke my heart, too. I was a die-hard indica boy. I was like, man, it's that fucking cliche. Man, I can only smoke indicas, man. Anything else, like, this shit just fucks me up. I just can't. Sativas, dude, way too much energy. I'm just trying to be chill. Give me indicas, right? Now we're able to do research, and we're finding that, no, it's not indica, sativa, hybrid as like genetically as different kinds of plants. It's rather these specific strains, if you will, or these specific types of plant contain different terpenes and different cannabinoids, which we have receptors all over our body for. And now what we're finding out, and I think is really cool, and is the cusp of, and what we need to start pushing out to people, it's not THC percentage, it's not sativa, it's not indica, it's the cannabinoids. It's the terpenes, people. We need, shout out Juice, Flabby Zombies, talking terps, okay? What we need to be looking at, we need to be looking at our myrcene levels, our limonene levels, we need to be looking at our fucking linalool levels. Like, that is what is responsible for the effects that we have. And everyone's a beautiful little snowflake. We all have different endocannabinoid systems. Like, we all just have different varieties and shit that we like, right? And that our body likes and that our body gravitates towards. So I myself need to, practice what I'm preaching, but I want to look into more of buying strains based off of not name, not THC percentage, not sativa indica hybrid, but rather if the information's available. And there's a few companies that are on the cusp of this, which is cool, but basically, if possible, finding as much about the terpene profile of said strain, and then basing that research off of, okay, this one makes this one does this one does this kind of thing, and fine tune from there. Like, okay, my body really fucks with the limonene and the linalool, not so much with the myrcene and the pinene kind of thing, right? So that's what we need to be doing, because you can, like I was telling my mom on the phone earlier today, you can have, like, THC percentage doesn't fucking matter, bro. Like, you can have a 13.5% fucking runts, right? That will get you just as high, if not higher, than a 33% Bruce Banner. And that's just because of the terpenes and the way the terpenes interact with your body. And like I said, there's different ones are responsible for different effects and different feelings. And that's, ironically, those effects and feelings are what we attribute to what we refer to as sativa, indica, whatever, right? And I don't have it pulled up right now. I'm not exactly sure. One I can say confidently, limonene, it's the reason why citruses smell citrusy, right? And lemons and oranges and all that kind of shit. That terpene has been found with, like, elevated mood, enhanced energy levels, what you would typically attribute to, like, a sativa, right? But you can have a terpene profile, a strain of an indica that would be high in limonene, and that would result in you getting a high from an indica that would be more similar to an effects of a hybrid or a sativa than it would its Purple Punch namesake, for example. And that's just for example. And that goes back to what I was talking about before with regulation, legalization, decriminalization, with being able to, the quality control will be able to change. Like, people that are smoking in one state from one company will be able to have the same experience and the same high as ever, like what Dope as Yola does with his HHC company, right? He's putting the same quality thing into a pen, into an edible, whatever, and selling that, and it's legal to all 50 states. It can go to everyone. So motherfuckers in Oregon are smacking on the dopest pens as motherfuckers that are down in Baton Rouge, right? The people in San Antonio are chiefing on or hitting the same fucking edibles, right? The people up in MD are, or down here in Arizona, right? And that's cool. And not only is that cool, but on a capital corporate side, quality control, is one of the most important things when it comes, especially to a consumer sales. Like, it's especially important when people are eating what you're selling, that your quality control is fucking top notch. You have your shit honed in, right? So having a company and it being successful and being run out of different, like, that's it's like having 3 different restaurants of the same chain, but you have to, because of regulation and laws and shit, you have to run them 3 different fucking ways. And it makes it way more expensive, makes it way more inconvenient, makes it way more time consuming, makes the barrier entry way higher, only allows these Walmarts of weed to come in, kicks out the mom and pops, the people that should be in the market, the people that should be receiving funds and taxes and all that kind of shit, right? It all is encompassing like a giant blooming onion of what we can do and what we need to do and what we should do, and, like, as well as fixing our legislation, we need to make something in there of just basically like cannabis reparations, where if a single state is making $5 billion in revenue, or let's make it, I believe it was in 1 year, it was one of the main 4, it was either Cali, Oregon, Washington, or Colorado, one of those guys within a couple years or the first year of legalization just themselves made $2 billion in taxes, right? That's $2 billion with a fucking B of Uncle Sam's green cash, baby, right? One fucking state. And now it's spreading like a virus, popping off in multiple states, right? So if one state is able to generate billions of revenue in fund money, right, of money they're cutting off the top that people have to pay, like it's fucking church, right? That money, we can take a portion of that money and put it into funds and put it into systems that, for example, or make legislation like Joe Byron did recently about the federal possession or something to do with federal stuff and people in prison and helping release whatever shit like that. Making programs, make a fucking, I don't know, make a giant fund, a cannabis fund for all, called the people fucked over by the cops fund, right? And the money will go to attorneys and lawyers for people that are in the system, for people that have been out of the system, for people that are trying to make a fucking, what we need to do is make a fucking like a job center, but for people that have been fucked over by the cops because of cannabis, right? We should make these centers, these facilities. Or another thing we can do, because back to what I was talking about before, about how the heads and the faces of these giant corporations are a bunch of fucking jakes, right? We should make, and I believe California, or there's certain cities or maybe states that are doing this with basically, it's kind of like some affirmative action shit, which I know can be wishy-washy, but in this case is a lot better. But it's basically, if you've been negatively impacted by the war on drugs, here's a fast pass for you to be able to get into the cannabis industry and be able to create generational wealth and be able to just be the entrepreneurial person, be just one step closer to the idealization of America and the idea of America of being able to come start a business, be successful, and have money, and not worry, right? We can make programs and make funds that can do that and set up things that can do that. So even in a fucked place like California, where it's $1 million just to get a piece of paper that says you can do this, let's have the Big Daddy Dick Fund come in and be like, yeah, here, I got you, mom and pop bud shop. I'll pay the $1 million for your licensing. I'll pay for the building. I'll, like, literally just a fucking business credit card. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Like what these stupid fucking companies get to do anyway. All this stupid getting to write off gas because I drive a company car. I'm a fucking cop, so all my gas is free. Like, we have this bullshit already set up in the system where because it's an established big thing, they just get to fucking like it doesn't fucking matter. We can do that with cannabis and with the funds and the revenue that we, the people, are creating for that group, right? Because again, this is supposed to, the idea of why I'm going to the dispo, not only for quality control or for brands or whatever, right? But that tax that I'm paying on top of those benefits, I know I'm supposed to be going to these said organizations and these groups that can help, right? And I know people are weary, like fucking a whole bunch of people on the right are like, oh, the BLM was a scam. The founders bought a couple million property, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you do have a couple bad apples that ruin the bunch, so to speak, but that anyone can do that. And motherfuckers, shut the fuck up. The right is full of grifters and full of people that are there just to make fucking, like, Uber money and then fuck off. So this whole finger pointing, like, oh, but it's fucking childish. Grow up. But yes, obviously, as with anything, things can start off or have the veneer of being good and meanwhile being fucked up and doing corrupt shit. But on the same token, just like that can happen, you equally can have the opposite, where they aren't. And that money that you're paying for is going to the thing that you said it's going to pay for. Hell, here's another great one, okay? Militarily, worldwide, we have the fattest fucking cock, right? We walk in the room and we're 16 soft, okay? Nobody's gonna fuck with us. Nor will they even be able to because of World War II, World War I and World War II specifically. Because of that, and the whole policing the world, we are the alpha of the globe, right? Nobody's gonna fuck with little baby America, right? So, since we're so well established, and we have so much dummy money that's already fed into this Goliath, that it won't even run out even if it... Let's take some of the preposterously, astronomically, like, so many zeros on a paper. Let's just take little itty bitties of that and put it into programs and put it into funds that will directly impact the people positively instead of negatively. Let's take some money that would be going to give the feds some new upgraded gear that then they give the cops their old gear. So then when riots pop off, right? Then the cops are pulling up in fucking Humvees and fully tacked out, shooting us with fucking all this kind of bullshit, right? Instead of going down that tangent, what if we took those funds, put it into an organization or a trust fund that can help people fucked over by a system, which then could go into other resources and other avenues, which will help even more things, right? Because I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I think a lot less people would be fucked up in a bad way. A lot less people getting shot, killed, nuked, stabbed, enemy A-50 above, UAV'd, right? If we took that money from that happening and put that money into something else, like cannabis, for example. I'm just saying. Is Uncle Sam, is the military industrial complex really going to miss 2% of 700 billion? Are they? Like they're on some Walter White shit, man. You know what? The feds, especially the feds, the military feds, they're on their fucking what's his fucking name? Oh god, that's embarrassing. Pablo Escobar. They're on their fucking Pablo Escobar shit. They have so much money that if they were to store it in pallets and warehouses, rats could eat said money for years upon years upon years, and they would still never fucking know. It's still a warehouse full of cash. So, instead of letting the rats eat this shit, what if we just kind of put a little bit in our pockets instead, and put it into programs and into shit that actually made people's lives better and actually did shit outside of just the fucking military, dude? Because the military fucking mids, bro. Like, why are we funding more of that shit? They have so much shit. They have so much. Even if we stop today giving them shit, the amount of money we gave them yesterday is so much they could live off that for the rest of the fucking. So there'll be plenty more fucking 18-year-old kids going out and buying fucking Hellcats, bro, and having fucking super high car payments and living in fucking 1-bedroom studio apartments, and all of it will be paid for by the feds. Still, and in this system, people that got fucked over aren't getting as fucked over. That's pretty tits. I think that's pretty tits. Helping people out and not fucking them over, and helping people who've been fucked over, that's tits. Oppressing people and funding the oppression of people, not necessarily tits. That's kind of taint, bro, honestly. In the military, pretty fucking taint. And sorry to all my fucking, yes sir, amen, I fight for Christ. Sorry to all my fucking Blue Lives Matter babies out there, but they're mids. They're just mids. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. Fuck you. They're mids. There's any way you slice it, you look at it, you're just like, yeah, no, that's 28th right there. Like, no, you mids. Cops, mids. Military, mids. The shit they've been doing, especially with drugs, mids. But off of the pigs, back to drugs and stuff. That's just cannabis here in America, just in the States. That's just us, one piece of this little pie, right? And we have other places, like Thailand, for example, that they're rolling out lots of really what seems decent. I haven't done too much research into it, but on the face of it and what I did read, it seems like decent, like, what's the word for it? Like, common sense laws of, like, yeah, you can do this with weed, you can't do that with weed. Or if you do that with weed, do it with over here, right? And it's not like in America where it's like, you must shit in a bucket, then walk 15 feet away from it, otherwise we'll shoot you. They're just like, yeah, maybe just, you can have like 4 of those. Is that chill? Cool, there you go. Yeah, grow 4 of those hoes. There you go. Like, that's, from what I understand, their approach to the legislation, and that's cool. And I support shit like that. Because not only is it the r/atheism 12-year-old, you should plant it, it's never hurt anybody. The history of cannabis, like, we are monkeys that have been smoking on this shit and consuming this shit for a long ass time, man. And that's like another thing about why I'm so pro substance use, properly, decriminalization, legalization, all that, is because we've been doing this shit. It's woven into our DNA, man. Like, I know that not necessarily is the Stone Ape theory like that credible or 100%. But motherfucker, when we're digging up 1,000-year-old fucking body, when they're pulling out a 5,000-year-old, what was he? I think it was somewhere in Asia, maybe around the Caucasian mountains, whatever the fuck. Let's say Nepal, and it was what's the term for it? So forgetful tonight. A shaman. There was like a 5,000-year-old Nepalese Napoleon fucking shaman, right? That was found really well preserved. All of his shit really well preserved, and in this little bag that he had, that was like they surmounted, whatever the fuck, that this was used for this was used for that. They found psychedelic mushrooms, a few other kinds of herb, like a lot of hallucinogenic, psychoactive substances in this little fucking pouch, and it was very clear that he was a medicine man, he was a doctor, he was a healer, right? 5,000 years ago. And you have the Vikings, they're pulling up fucking Viking burial grounds, and motherfuckers are being buried with their weapons, with their loot, and also with mushrooms, and with other kind of psychedelic, psychoactive substances. And then they're finding out that these motherfuckers might be microdosing before they would go to battle, and that's what led them to being so fucking brutal and savage, is because they're low-key tripping, but they're not having a bad trip, they're on some, like, real primal shit, so they're getting fucking into it while they're, like, tripping, like... It is woven into our DNA of just humanity, man. We've all across the world, every culture except, I mean, not necessarily except, but everywhere in the world, there's psychoactive plants and psychedelic plants that grow, right? Every continent on Earth except Africa, which is ironic because it's the birthplace of humanity, but there's only 4 psychoactive substances on the face of Africa, on the continent, right? Elsewhere around the world, it's abundant. That's why you have here Native Americans, for example, peyote, the use of peyote, mescaline, right? They've been doing that culturally for thousands of years. I'm sure the Aztecs, the Mayans, everyone going down the Amazon, everyone has incorporated. There's hieroglyphics. There's fucking, bro, there's drawings, cave paintings in France. I believe it's in France. Fuck the French. But there's cave paintings from way back when of these ooga boogas, and the motherfuckers in detail, like you can pull up a picture, like, yeah, that's that. They're painting these psychedelic mushrooms, like, really fucking well. Next to their fucking caribous and their little spear dudes, like, just a trippy little fucking penis envy, or a little fucking Amanita muscaria. And it's like, dude, that's not just, like, that could be anything. Like, no, they're fucking detailing what the fuck they're doing. They know what the hell's going on. They're putting shit on, literally putting shit in stone and letting it be known, like, this is what's happening, right? And we're doing that all across the globe. All these cultures everywhere have been doing that. So now we're at a point societally, humanitarily, right? We're not really fighting. Fuck you, Putin. Globally speaking, and as a world population, it's not necessarily about... We've switched from survival to rather thriving, depending on where you live and what country you live in. But statistically, it's the most peaceful time on Earth right now, all that kind of shit, right? In this era of peace, I feel like what we're doing, what's happening right now, and we should continue to do and add on doing, is opening the doors and basically retroactively looking back at all the fucked up shit that we've done in history or recent history, then actively taking steps to rewind and undo said fuckery from that point in history forward, right? Like I said in my first episode, and the shit that I'm also about is taking all the trauma and the bullshit and all the fucked up shit that's happened to you in your own personal life, and it stops here at yourself. You take the time to work on yourself, to make yourself better, to not then project those same flaws that have been handed down to you through your whole family and all that generational trauma. Stopping it, recognizing it, and flipping it, and making your experience and the experience of your kin, your children, and the generations after net positive rather than net negative, right? That that I feel like is achievable when we're taking steps like being able to do cannabis legislation that helps people that have been fucked over by the war on drugs, right? Little steps like that, I feel like help in my overall mission of fixing people so that not everyone's an asshole, because ultimately it's a selfish altruistic thing, because I don't necessarily care about you yourself or want you yourself any more than you care about me or want my happiness. It's the same to you, but I don't want you, because somebody else shit on you and you had a bad day, I don't want you coming up to me and then unloading that and shitting on me, right? So I want to go up in the chain, like with the military and the Fed funding. I want to go up in the chain, nip that in the bud where that bad thing happened. So you're not coming at me with all this fucking bullshit to unload on me. So that we can, because I'm just chilling, man. I'm having a great ass time. And I don't need you coming in my life and fucking it up. Honestly. So, for the sake of you not fucking my day up, I want to make sure you have the best day fucking possible so that we can both chill and ultimately you leave me the fuck alone with it being either net zero or net positive. I'm not your therapist. I'm not here for you to just shit on me because your boss shit on you and you had a bad day, okay? That, I would say I'm sorry, but again, I don't care. But for the sake of this, I'm sorry that somebody else shit on you, okay? But instead of deciding, because see, this is what I've realized and the reflections and working on myself, right? We may not be able to control what goes on outside and what's happening in the outside world, but we can control our reaction and how we respond to said thing. So it's not your fault, it's not my fault that somebody else decided to be an asshole and shit on me, but I have the responsibility, the accountability, personally, myself, to A, continue that behavior and go shit on somebody else, make somebody else's day shittier, or B, process it, react to it, whatever, that doesn't result in that same activity being trickled down and put onto somebody else, right? Because I feel like that's a huge reason why there's so many fucking assholes out there and so many dickhead people, is because, they've been shit on, and they shit on people, and then it's just a shitty fucking shitball, and everyone's just, it's triple down shitonomics, okay? That's what it is. It's trickle down Reagan shitonomics. Just like Reaganomics, it's all shit, and it goes from the top, and it comes all the way down. And what do you get at the very bottom? Shit. That's it. And guess what? I don't want shit anymore, okay? I'm a good boy. I don't want any more coal in my fucking stocking. I want candies. I want fucking little games. Leave me alone. Let's work on you so that you, and then hopefully if every single piece, every node in the system is working at its most optimal, the whole unit as a whole, the whole piece of the fucking pie is stronger and as a whole can function better, right? So if we're all working and communicating and everything's gelling, we can get more things done and do more things than if we're spending fucking time bullshitting, arguing, and going back and forth, right? Because another big thing, and shout out Fulcrum, Yodi Gang, big thing, energy, man. And a thing I've been realizing too is that your words are powerful, and your actions, and like I talked about before, your ideas and the manifestation of your ideas is very potent and very powerful, right? And this is coming from, you can look back at my first episode, it's a very angry, rage-filled, distraught individual, right? But in these past couple months, a lot of my life has changed, and a lot of that has flipped to where I'm not in that same state. And me going through this myself and realizing this, and I mean, there's a lot of people, my friends and my family around me, that also realize, like, yeah, no shit, dude, like, it feels great to accomplish your ideas, and, you know, when you say something, doing something, yeah, it feels good. But I'm the kind of stubborn motherfucker where I can see the fire, and you can tell me, yo, that shit's hot, don't touch it. But I'd still be like, yeah, but is it really, though? And then I touch it, I'm like, that shit was hot. And then you're looking at me like, yeah, I just told you it was hot, bro. And it's not for a lack of believing someone. I'm just so fucking stubborn that it's like, well, what if it isn't? Or how, right? It's not because I don't think that the other person is right or whatever the fuck. I'm just a dumbass, and I have to hurt myself in order to fucking learn. So I've been hurting, and now that I'm healing and learning, I'm telling my friends and family ad nauseum about all this shit, and they're sitting there like, I told you the same shit like 6 months ago, dude. I'm glad that you're doing it now, but what the fuck? And I get it. To all you guys out there, John, Seth, Mom, Grandma, Bubby, everybody out there, Matt, Sarah, all you guys. I love you guys. You guys are fucking sick. And I'm doing what I feel like I should be doing, if that makes sense, you know? Having substitute teachers in art class being like, you don't shut the fuck up. You should do a thing with, I think she said at the time, radio or something like that, but you should do something like this. Having other people being like, hey man, you should shma. And instead of agreeing with them and being like, yeah, no, I definitely should, and they're not doing anything, we're on our healthy boy arc where we're taking that, processing that, and taking the steps behind that to do that. I mean, for Crizzle Christ's sake, dude, I'm sitting here live in the 3D fucking flesh with my fucking bed and my wall and my lamp on the third episode, just like I said, because my mind, my ideas, I actually took the steps. I know, to healthy, normal people out there, you guys are like, this guy's fucking stupid. Like, no shit. To you guys, I understand. I'm now becoming enlightened as well. But I'm trying, the reason why I'm exposing all of this and I'm trying to preach this so much is I want other people that were like myself before that don't know and don't realize how to do this, to go down this route. I want to help other individuals do that for the stated purpose of before of helping people so everyone is happier, right? Because it really is something as simple as, because it's hard to unpack, but I'm a big talker, so it's fine. But when you're in such a clouded mental, for me personally, I was just in such a foggy, clouded mental state, and I just shut myself off from so many things because of compounding factors of my mental illness that I've talked about in the past. This job that I've been working, that I've had for almost like 2 months now, it unlocked a lot in me that I previously either shut out or disregarded or whatever, what have you, because of being in the mental state of just basically I was just 23-1 mentally all the fucking time. I'm in lockdown. I get out for an hour. I get to walk in a concrete rec yard, and then I go back in, right? That's how my mentality's been for so fucking long. Pretty much from teens through adulthood, because I wanted to do things and I've had aspirations, goals, and ideas for things, but then I haven't had the funds to do them and also weren't really actively taking the steps to do said thing. Like I said before in the previous episode, I'm the king of can kicking, baby. I will fucking launch that bitch down the road. And then when I get up to it again, I fucking launch that bitch again, right? Now, I'm trying to, instead of kicking that shit, grabbing it, crunching it, throwing it in the recycling, so to speak, because I'm realizing how fulfilling and potent and powerful and amazing doing just these little things can be and are, right? And for a person that was in the state that I was in, and I'm still going through, but thankfully a lot better, I wish I had somebody at that time, like the whole thing of older you flashbacking and telling younger you something. I wish I had somebody 2 months ago to tell me, hey, it's not going to be this, like, it's not going to be like this all the time. Like, but beyond just that cliche of it's a bad day, not a bad life, beyond that cliche, but not only is it this not going to be this way, but here are the things that you can do actively that you have control over that will chip away and make these unlock this set of things, right? And that's the healthy boy arc that I've been on these past couple months, is I've been saying a lot of things, not doing a lot of things, but since I've had this job, it's like memories coming back to me, and it's literally me remembering that I can go do shit and have fun, right? Like a couple weeks ago, my closing manager was like, talking about going playing pool. And he's like, yeah, I'll kick your ass in pool. Let's go play sometime. And then me realizing, like, wait, I have a ride. I got like $20. I'm free. Yo, let's go play some pool. Because I was so... If it wasn't outside of eating and drinking and sleeping, it really didn't fucking exist. And even the eating and drinking, like, high-key developed an ED over the past few years because of the depression and lack of... But anyway, point being, my scope was so fucking small that I just forgot about innocuous things like that. The ability to go do that. Hell, I'm appreciative, and the power of being able to buy food just to go, like, hey, I'm hungry, I want Mexican food, and go get Mexican food. That means so much more to me now than it did before. Not only it's not even because I care about work ethic or like, this is my hard-earned money. Like, to me, it's just money, so I'm happy that it's money. But now I'm really realizing, like, the ability and the opportunity to be able to spend $15 and go get some Wendy's is fucking sick. And I feel, I don't even know what the word is, but I feel happy, and I'm glad that I've been able to take these steps and do said things that have led me to the events of me being able to buy that cheeseburger. And like I said before, I know I'm explaining super simple things, but to a broken person, these aren't that simple. But just having a job, making money, being on a somewhat regular schedule, these few things have completely turned my life 180, like completely turned it around, right? 2 months ago, I was just a grumpy fucking gamer. Now, I'm at the point in life, and I'm setting things up for myself where I'm doing things for myself that I just kick the can to. This right here is a manifestation and actualization of years and years and years of inaction. Years of inaction, and all it took, from my side, and I think I talked about it in last episode, my biggest thing that on my arc now that I've realized is it's your perspective. It's your perspective and your perception, right? I'm looking at this same object, but the way I look at it now, the way I perceive this object 2 months ago and now, it's like I'm looking at two completely different objects. And like how I talked about previously, about before, my mindset was, wow, that looks like a huge mountain. How the fuck am I going to get to the top? Now I'm like, yo, that's a big ass mountain. All right, well, let's start there and let's keep going. I know, it's super simple, but when you're broken and you don't want to listen to even yourself, let alone anyone else, these simple things are really the fucking hardest. So just being able to get out of bed and be able to go work and make money. And I'm in the opportunity, the first time in my life, actually. This is my third job that I've had, my third minimum wage job. Well, technically, if you count a month of doing solar panel sales last year. But technically, this is my fourth. But this is my third job, right? And this is the first one in my life. Been working since like 17. First time in my life where I've worked, especially a minimum wage job, where I actually don't loathe and actively hate every second of it, where I'm going to bed dreading waking up, and I'm waking up dreading going to work, right? That has been the past from 17 to, like, 17 to 20. Those 3-4 years, yes, I was working, yes, I had jobs, but I wasn't very happy, right? I won't say the name, but for 6 months, from October of 2019 to May of 2020, right before the pandemic, or like when it was happening, I worked at a burger chain, and said burger chain was very busy. Now I've been in the restaurant industry for years. I started off working at a mom and pop little restaurant, right? And I worked there for like 3.5 years, and then in October, like I said, October 2019, then I moved and I worked at this burger chain. Now, the first job was chill because, once you get familiar with something, then it's like your home, right? So I was a fucking vet there. 3.5 or so years. I knew everyone like the back of my hand. What's up, Randy? How we doing, Jill? Hey, yo, Terry, right? So then being plopped in a new environment where, and it wasn't, I got used to the ness of the environment, the people, the work, whatever, and that was fine. But oh my god, the work itself, knowing I was a closing shift, knowing that my first like 2 hours are gonna be super chaotic. It's gonna be the fucking food, the dinner rush. Then the next for 3 hours from 7:30 to 10, it's gonna be pretty fucking slow. So you're gonna be having to do stupid innocuous like scrubbing the fucking floors with a toothbrush, right? And then it's gonna take you about an hour and a half to close because there's 3 people to close in a whole fucking restaurant, including the front and the back, everything, right? Waking up at 4:30 when I have to clock in at 5, and I worked pretty much every day, 5 or so days a week. Pretty much waking up every day knowing that that's what I had to look forward to. I fucking hated it. Was I making money? Sure. Was that paycheck? Was I able from 2 paychecks to be able to get this beautiful PC and make this beautiful PC with my slime in February of 2020? Because of this job? Yes. But that same job, I was closing and it was 11:45 on like New Year's Eve, and I'm watching fireworks pop off, and I'm driving the dude that I close with home, and he lives like 20 minutes away. That's my New Year's Eve, right? Fucking mids. This job, it's been fucking awesome. Like, there's not much expected of me. I love everyone I work with. Because it's a completely different environment, but it's also very similar. So there isn't a rush. There's no pressure, man. The previous jobs I had, and like the theater, I worked at a theater, little mom and pop theater. The rushes that we had, and that's what I hate about the food industry, and what made me not want to work after I got canned in 2020, was the food rushes, man. People are assholes. There's a lot of fucking waste, and the food rushes. Those 3 things, they're the reason I can never do that again. This job has none of those, right? We run out of something, that we don't have it in the back, and we don't have it stocked. Tough titties, we ran out of rutabagas. Nothing I can do. Maybe we'll get some more tomorrow. Sorry, have a good day. That's the extent of it, right? That feels so relieving and so nice versus, hey man, we got 15 people out there, we need to get this, right? So what I'm trying to get at is, I feel so, I hate the fucking word because it's so memey, and especially because I memed it a lot when I was younger, but I honestly genuinely now kind of do feel blessed, as much as I hate to say the word. But the position that I'm in, where I work literally 2 miles down the fucking road, I'm chill with like everyone. I get paid every week. I'm making good paychecks. I work pretty much 30 plus 40 hours a week, right? This structure, this payment, but also not hating it, and actually low-key looking forward to, or at the very least, like tomorrow, for example, I gotta get up. I mean, it's 11:46 now. Yeah, I'll get up at like 9:15 tomorrow, right? Because I have to be at work at 10. I'm gonna go get up and take a shower, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be like tired and be like, oh, it's 9:15. But I'm not also like, oh, fuck, and I have to go in. It's gonna be this bullshit, this bullshit. It's, once I basically thaw, give me like an hour and a half after I wake up, I'm fucking chilling. So I'm doing my thing, whatever. And then 12 hits, I'm like, hey, yo, what's going on? Janine, I'm loving the blouse. Hey, I'm talking to regulars. Hey, Chrissy, how you like those pineapples, huh? I saw you last week, right? Like, it's honestly, this job and everything that's been happening this past couple months, I don't know what the fuck's been going on, but cosmically, this shit's just been, hell, this is almost damn near enough for me to become a religious man, because shit has just been working and plugging in, and also other people's lives as well have just been, everyone's just been on the fucking come up right now. And as a person who specifically resides in the fucking gutter at all times when it comes to life, for most of said life, being on this upswing feels great, but I'm also very skeptical. I don't trust that. Open that button. Like, when's life just gonna punch me in the face? When's something shitty gonna happen? Because me feeling this good and being on this high of like an arc of life of like, wow, maybe things are decent. And like birds chirping and beautiful rainbows and the fucking blue skies out. Like, I'm just waiting for a bird to shit on my head or something. Like, this is. Is there cameras somewhere? Like, this doesn't feel right. It feels great, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But I'm so not used to this and things being not shitty and being nice that I'm very suspicious and wary of, like, why is this so good? What's happening? But at the same time, I'm taking it. I'm rolling with it. We got this beautiful piece done by Sarah Sriracha on Sriracha Inc. on Instagram. Got this beautiful piece because of this realization and actualization we were talking about. It hit me about, I think, I got this last week, so it was probably a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we'll say it was a couple weeks ago. Out of nowhere, I was just thinking like, man, I think it's because, so I got my first ever tattoo on my thigh right here, and I got that a week before my birthday in late April. And that was like a birthday gift. And I was thinking to myself when I was working a couple weeks ago, I was like, damn, like that was really cool to get a tattoo. And I remember saying to myself, like, I wanted to get at least, or like when I got tatted at the shop and after I got the tattoo, I told myself, I want to be in this shop again, or I want to get tatted again before the year's over. But I didn't really take any steps to do that, right? To actually whatever, until fast forward basically 6 months later, and then I had the same thoughts and I was like, yo, I want to get a tattoo. Like, I really want to do that before the year was over. I mean, it's already October. And I was like, I mean, I have money. Fuck it, let me hit her up. Hit her up. 2 weeks goes by. 3 weeks goes by. This concept, King of Hearts tattoo, I've thought about this and wanted, not visually this, but the concept of the King of Hearts tattoo is one of the first tattoo ideas that I've thought of, and I've been wanting since I was like fucking 16, 17. I always thought it was so cool that the King of Hearts, of all, if you look at a bicycle or like whatever, a deck of cards, all of the suits of the royal dudes and women, they're holding up their weapons, whatever the fuck, and the King of Hearts is the only one stabbing himself in the head, and I thought that was, just something about that was poetic and cool and whatever the fuck, right? So here we are, years later, half a decade later, and I did it. I got shouts out to her. She did the design. This is totally her design. But being able to just, honestly, I fell into the position. I'm not really doing, and that's the crazy thing, is like I'm not really doing anything that's different, like day to day that's different. But for some reason the outcomes and the outcomes of not seemingly doing that much, it's been a whole bouquet of just completely different fucking results. Hell, today's Wednesday, the 8th. I'm getting tatted here on my forearm by Sarah on Friday, the 11th, and I'm going to get my beautiful people filter, and it's going to be, here, I'll pull up a picture of it. It's some dude in the 19th century. He's the one that came up with this. It's an iconic image of... It's an iconic image of the statue of Baphomet. So I basically... Where is it? What the fuck? Oh, wrong Sarah. I was like, where the fuck's my text message at? One sec. There we go. So basically, I want to get this guy. I probably won't be able to pick it up at all, huh? No, you can kind of tell. I mean, I am on a fucking shitty webcam. There we go. So I basically want that guy right here, and it'll be kind of in the similar placement as this guy, but like right here. I'm going to get this tattoo in 2 days, and I already have it all set up, and I get paid either tomorrow or the next day, and so anyway, simple stuff like this of just working this grocery store job and doing these little actions are leading to and manifesting me getting tattoos and looking sick as fuck. Because there was a time, I think it was either 2018 or 19, I was tripping balls. I think it was off some LSD. I was tripping mad balls. But anyway, the thing that sticks with me the most about that trip is I swear, I think time might be a dimension. I think that I think actually scientifically, or like Neil deGrasse Tyson-y, I think it actually is a dimension. But spiritually, psychedelically, I swear to God, I went through some dimension of time and I saw myself in what I would estimate being like the mid 30s, 40-year-old version of myself. And I looked so fucking cool. And I was with the baddest fucking woman I've like. I remember in the trip, I was like, yo, that's you? Yo, and yo, dude. Like, I almost want to dap my future self up. I was like, yo, my man. Ever since that, and I'm realizing, like, with these tattoos and shit, I don't believe in destiny or fate or everything happens for a reason or it's meant to be or whatever the fuck. But part of what's making me feel like there is some greater thing going on is I'm not really doing that much, but I'm taking these little steps and pieces, and now I'm realizing and I'm having like deja vu of what I'm basically trying to get at is whatever I'm doing right now and the path that I'm on right now, I keep getting reminders basically that whatever I'm doing right now, just keep doing this shit. So I don't know what the fuck deja vu is, but I know myself 100% I have experienced things or had memories of said thing and then said thing happens, right? A lot lately. I've been getting these little check-ins of deja vu of seeing whatever the fuck, and I can't help but feel like this deja vu and this path that I'm on and doing shit like this and making music and just taking these steps and manifesting, I feel like I am on this track that is leading me to this greatness that I can have and that I can achieve. You know, like that I'm afraid for myself to have or don't want myself to have. I'm just taking these small little baby steps, but they're ending up with these huge repercussions of me even closer to being the idealized dope-er version of myself that I ultimately want to get to. And it's crazy realizing all of this and taking all these steps and doing this kind of stuff, because especially being down in the gutter, you're a fucking horse with blinders, bro. There's nothing that exists outside of this. And this world that we're in, this shit fucking sucks. This is mid city what I'm looking at in here, right? You're not even thinking about all the shit that's going on out here. So while I'm distracted in mid city, I've been slowly opening and doing shit like this where it just, oh yeah, I can get a tattoo. Okay, gets a tattoo. And then I'm having deja vu about me like washing my hands and looking down at my tattoo. Like replaying it like, oh shit. I'm just getting these checkpoints, and I feel like whatever the fuck I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, and is leading me to being a dope ass dude or doper ass dude. And I can't wait to hop back into Sykes and trip again because it's been fucking years. But the last time I did do it, I realized, like, especially with shrooms, I'm a huge shroom boy. When I get some good shrooms, and you know, set and setting is the most important thing. But last time I tripped was in November of 2020 when I was, ironically, I was house sitting and dog sitting the plug for while he was away. But anyway, he left me an eighth of blueberry muffin edibles, and it was shrooms. And it just looked like it was honestly fucking hacks. I'm gonna have to talk to him like how he did this shit. But basically, it looked like the most innocuous Ziploc Tupperware, just two blueberry muffins. Crack that shit open, just smells like blueberries, like so fucking good. Take a bite of it, tastes just like blueberries. Looks so good, has the blueberries in it. I was eating. I was like, there's no way these are Eddies. Like this, nah. And then about 45 minutes, an hour later. Because he had a dope ass setup of a big old TV right next, like his living room's right by his kitchen. So I have something set up on the like going on like a stream or something, and then I'm about to like make pizza or whatever. And then I'll never forget, like, am I even high yet? And I swear it was like high yet, high yet, high yet. And I remember looking over towards the timer that was on the stove, and it was like joof, 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 joof. And I got a big old grin. I was like, I think we're tripping, baby. But anyway, the point of that story is I had one of the, like, I was in my boxers in front of a big ass surround sound TV with speakers all around me, eating ice cream, eating pizza with bong and booze, watching TV while tripping. It was the most childhood, pure, unfiltered joy that I have honestly experienced since being a child. And especially back then, I was also very much in the gutter back then. So to have that glimpse and that reminder of such joy and happiness and just feeling like a fucking kid. Like I felt like a fucking child, bro. I'm just sitting here, I'm eating pizza, I'm eating ice cream, I can smoke, I can drink, I got dope shit on. Like I just felt so good and so awesome. And that was from just, hey man, thanks for watching my house. Here's these Eddies and just tripping on like a Wednesday, right? Doing the shit I'm doing now and the work that I'm doing now, I really want to trip again just to fucking, because that shit feels like home, man. And that was the other feeling, because prior to 2020, I hadn't tripped or anything since I believe February of like 2018 or 19. So it had been at least a year, almost 2 years since the last time I had tripped. I think it was February of 2018, and I took acid. But anyway, shrooms I hadn't done since like high school, so it had been a minute since I had done shrooms up until 2020. And that was another thing that I realized when I was started to trip again. It was like it felt like being home, honestly. Like it, and I remember thinking to myself while I was on the come up of like, this feels so good and like everything is awesome, and like it gave me glimpses of what I'm starting to get now and working actively now in life is just an appreciation and gratefulness and just overwhelming happiness at just not only existing but things that also exist, appreciating the beautiful clouds, loving on my beautiful little babies, like shit that I honestly took for granted before, or were in grayscale so I couldn't see them now. And like crazily enough, I don't know if I've been getting high and drunk on my same usual shit, but I swear to God, in the past like 2-3 weeks, not even high sometimes sober, shit looks, it's like I got a new firmware update and shit is looking so colorful and vibrant and crisp. Like I first noticed it a couple weeks ago, and I'm putting these, I think it was apples. I was putting up these apples, and I'm like, damn, bro, this shit's like this is just like a like it. Honestly, I was putting up Red Deliciouses. A cliche, just dark, like almost like blood red apple, like the shit that they like use for like paint tutorials of like, here's an apple, here's a banana, here's an orange, like in a fruit bowl. Just a perfect, just felt like some Matrix shit, like a perfect AI generated, just glowing shing red apple. And I was like, God damn, this is really vibrant. And I just like put it on the shelf. Earlier tonight, I'm cleaning off my pieces, and I'm looking. We have a fucking pomelo, which is a giant fucking citrus. It's awesome. But anyway, it's looking so like the texture. I don't know what the fuck it was, because it was like from here to what, like the shit behind me. Like it wasn't close. I wasn't close to it, but I'm cleaning my bongs and I'm looking at it, and like I can see the pores on the skin of the rind and the way the light's hitting the orange or the green of it. It looked so vibrant and green, but not like the lime green, like how cars or energy drinks where it's like a neon green. It wasn't that, like an artificial. It was a natural, like lime light green, but it was just so vibrant and so radiant. I don't know what the fuck's been going on, but I've been noticing little shits like that of my visual perception of shit just loading in, being super fucking crisp and looking different, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, obviously, yeah, it's a fucking apple, but there was something about the way, like, it was just perfect. It was perfect. And it's been shit like that where it's like, why is that, the texture on that is so, why is that so HD? And I'm not wearing glasses, I don't have contacts, I haven't changed shit. But all of a sudden, shit's looking way more vibrant, way more crispy and textured. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just here, I'm just like, that's an orange-ash orange. Like, I don't know, but I love it. But I'm looking forward to especially now, being in a way better mental state. I'm looking forward to coming back home, so to speak, with Sykes and being able. I also want to as well use like microdosing to be able to use that because I've already been off of my venlafaxine meds. I've been off that for like probably since before I started the job, so probably like 2.5 months. So I haven't been taking my antidepressants like I normally had been because I was getting to the point where it was being less if I was at the point before I took medication while still taking meds. So I'm like, why the fuck am I taking this when I don't feel any better than because before for a while it was working for a solid like year. Like it genuinely like the way I'm feeling now, well not even, this is way more than that. Half of what I'm feeling now is what I would feel and I felt like the first year with the venlafaxine, right? Oh, my nose is so fucking itchy, man. These goddamn allergies. So, but then the past, like, something happened like 3-4 months ago. I don't know what it was. I didn't change the dosage or change how often or whatever. But it wasn't hitting the same. And I was noticing getting in the same mood, the same slump, the same whatever. So I'm like, why the fuck am I taking these? Because also, I'm a brandy man. I like to sip on some brandy. And that shit's like a blood thinner or something like that. And alcohol's a blood thinner. So it's like you're not supposed to drink on that shit. So I'm like, fuck out of here. So I haven't been on my normal meds. And that's the only meds I've had. And then other than that, I take caffeine pills for like the lethargy and fatigue or whatever. But I want to genuinely try and see and do little tests on myself. And I want to see because if I'm feeling this good and having good streaks already being sober and just doing the small steps to take to whatever, because I felt beforehand, like I said before, when I tripped and I saw myself, I have very much felt a third party. I don't even know how to put it into words because you can't until you experience it. But basically, if there is a God or God, they're a woman. They might be Mother Ayahuasca. But anyway, tripping and getting to a certain state, I don't know what it is, changing your consciousness, being able to communicate with said gods, that I feel like is genuine. Being in that zone genuinely can put you into your actual like realization and actualization. Like I said before, I felt like a kid. I felt like I had a nice warm blanket. I've seen myself or what I perceive to be the future of myself, and I've had trips by myself of realizing and working on myself, right? So I feel like the psychs are a very potent, very valuable tool that I was doing not good, had trips that made me do real good, right? Like I lied. Oh, not really. Okay, I tripped early. I didn't trip, but I had shrooms earlier this year, maybe summertime of this year, but they were boo-boo street shrooms, so I didn't get fucking high. But for some reason, for a solid like 2 weeks after, I had a great mental shift, like the positive side effects that you get of like microdosing or whatever the fuck. I got that for like 2 weeks after, which was sick. But anyway, I wanna look into using psychs and microdosing to use that as my medicine to try and, because like I said, if I'm doing good now, just by myself, being able to tap into or even just slightly, like I said, I'm not trying to trip, but just slight little mood change. And it's funny because the things I'm describing, I've heard other people say they've experienced on shrooms and with microdosing, like vibrancy and colors, sharp visual acuity, audio stuff. So it's funny because I'm not microdosing, but it already sounds like I have been. But I want to try and see and get the positive mood benefits, the stress relief, like how I use cannabis recreationally and as well as medically. Like, yes, I love to get just dummy high and get fucked up and watch videos, but at the same time, and especially in the past 2 months of being a fucking blue collar working boy, my lower lumbar, my hips, my knees, I get a little sore. Need me a little bit of cannabis and work on that inflammation, baby. But no, seriously, I would love to. Because that's part of why I also advocate and love these substances so much, is because they are a tool that can help us, that can help heal us, and as a whole bring us to an idealized, better version of what we're currently in. Because everything fucking sucks right now, right? That's been going on. what I used to leave it at that was everything fucking sucks and I hate you all. Now it's everything sucks and I hate you all. So here are the steps I'm going to take to fix that so that you guys, I don't hate you, you don't hate me, and we all have a better time. That's the arc that we're going on and trying to get to, is not being a defeatist and a nihilist with it and being like, okay, yeah, shit's fucked up, but all right, let's start recycling. You know, let's at least, if recycling is a scam and it's just an illusion of choice, well, let's at least have the illusion of choice and be like, oh, I'm helping the planet. I put it in the blue bin, not the green bin. Like, hell, I will take, what was that? What's the word? Placebo. I will take a placebo all fucking day. As long as I don't, I mean, it's funny I'm talking about it now and I'm cognizant of it. Like, recycling is a scam. When you recycle, it ends up through whatever processes at the same place that the trash does in the landfill, right? So it's nothing's actually being reused, recycled, whatever the fuck. Mainly, there are other ways, but it's capitalism, corporate America. It takes too much money to do the responsible thing, so we're just gonna fucking throw it out because we can make more money. So instead of doing that, maybe we can try and take the steps to not do that. And like I was talking to one of my coworkers, I forgot where I heard it from, but recently Sprite got in huge, not actual trouble, but in the social media world, socially they got in a lot of trouble because there's a whole bunch of green plastic bottles that are washing up on the shores in like the middle of the Pacific and shit like that, and a whole bunch of photographs of just absolutely decimated beaches and rocks, and it's full of green plastic bottles and shit. And you're like, I wonder whose green plastic soda bottle that is. Instead of taking the steps to, I don't know, maybe ensure that the plastic doesn't end up in the ocean to begin with. No. They just changed the plastic to clear plastic so they look like everybody else. So you can't tell it was Sprite. It could have been Sprite, could have been Coke, could have been Dr. Pepper. It's not us. We're clean. Let's stop doing that shit. Let's actually fix the problem so it's not a continuing problem that, like, humanity, we need to stop can kicking here, okay? This is... Eventually, there's going to be too many holes in the boat to plug up with these corks, and shit's going to be... We're going to start drowning. Bye-bye, Florida. Bye-bye, Louisiana. I mean, shit, I live in AZ. In my lifetime, next 20 years, I might get some beachfront property. Who fucking knows? But... knowing this, we can still take steps and take actions to make it, at least on the surface, maybe we can at least lie to ourselves and make it, and act like shit's not. Ignorance really is bliss. We will act like these horrible things aren't happening. Meanwhile, they are, but at the same time, we will take steps. It's like a hybrid, right? Let's basically... Ideally, we want to be fully electric, and this is an analogy, but also reality. But ideally, we want to be a fully electric car. Right now, we're a gas-guzzling Ram 1500. What we can do, the steps we can do to implement, we can at least become a hybrid. So we're still chooching some gas, yeah, but we upgraded a few little things, and now we can... Some of it can be charged and electric, and that's a step. And then from hybrids, we can then start to go. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm picking up what I'm putting down, right? There's things that we can do, little steps that we can take, no matter how small they may seem, that end up being a lot bigger and a lot greater than what we think. Like, we might be single individual nodes, right? Like, individual ants themselves are fucking boo-boo. They can't do shit. They get fucked on, right? But ants together, like, I finished the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Fucking love it. But like Caesar says, apes together strong. Apes apart weak. Some real shit, alright? I know it's meme. I know it's cringe. But it's fucking real, dude. Individually, we're not the strongest. When we can network with each other and build up that web, then that's some shit you really can't fuck with. That's what we need to, I want all of us to start working on is being the better version of ourselves, not only for ourselves, but for other people. Like with masks and COVID and all that stuff. I'm not wearing a mask to protect myself. I can still whatever the fuck. I'm wearing my mask to protect you, and because I don't want to negatively impact you. People, let's work on ourselves. Let's get our mental masks in order and get our shit together. Do some in-house inventory, right? Instead of unloading a whole bunch of bullshit on everybody else, let's break it down. Let's pack it down and work it and get it out of the fucking warehouse. So that way that bullshit isn't either festering in the back of the warehouse rotting, or it's not sitting right by the door waiting to get fucking unloaded on somebody, on some unsuspecting poor fucking loading dock guy, okay? Let's fill this warehouse with full of good shit and fucking positivity. And I even hate saying that word because believe me, I fucking hate the everything is awesome, life is fucking great. Nah, you can fucking take a long walk off a short pier with that shit. But earnestly, person to person, as a broken individual, I am now like what's it called? The fucking it was a allegory of the caveman. Okay, I feel like I myself, me monkey, I've turned around and I've seen that there's an entrance to the cave. There's more to just this, right? There's an outside to all outside of this. And I feel like there's plenty more of me monkeys that are still looking at the wall of the cave, looking at the shadows of the outside world, thinking that's all that it is, that's all that it will ever be. I'm trying to tap you guys on the shoulders. Nah, motherfucker, there's some shit out there. Let's go out there. I want to take everybody out the cave. We're all going to come outside. We're going to have a beautiful sprawling compound. And we're all going to be living our best lives. We'll be fucking sucking and fucking and tucking and chucking, dude. We'll be doing all of it. And ideally, hopefully, we'll take these ideas and, like, you know how we have generational bullshit because of our parents and their parents, and how we are taking the steps to break that down, right? My age, 50 years ago, going through the same shit. Tough up, son, you're a boy. What the hell are you doing? Go out there, go fight the war, go pay your taxes. So you're just fucking, yeah, alright, I'll go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Everything's great. 9 to 5. I fucking love life. Yep, I'm married and have 4 kids. I fucking love it. Instead of doing that, right, and just teaching our kids, all right, little man, so what you're going to do is basically when you're 5 years old, you're going to start to get a job and help me pay these fucking bills. Right? Instead of doing that, what if, and like what we are doing, right, our parents couldn't just be vulnerable with each other, sit down and be like, yo, I'm fucked up. This is why. I'm going to tell you about it, right? For whatever reason, stigma, whatever the fuck, that wasn't available. So all the trauma and bullshit that these people are experiencing are holding it to themselves, and they're just fucking pushing that shit down and pushing that shit down. And there's nothing more deadly and toxic and dangerous than rage, hatred, fucking all of that shit, because all of that stress, all of that, it fucking kills, man. So I want our generation to be the ones more responsible, right? Yeah, it's our fucking grandparents' fault and our parents' fault that those dumbasses were driving around with fucking leaded fuel since cars started until the 70s. Motherfuckers are like, yeah, throw lead in that shit. Who cares? Oh, it's going in the atmosphere. Oh, that's weird. Oh, keep doing it. We're taking steps like, what if we got rid of the lead? Let's start there. And then we took steps, what if we got rid of the gas? And now we're starting to, we're getting closer and closer and closer to better. Let's do this. Let's not, like I said before, let's not continue to perpetuate all the bullshit and fuck up other people's days because that's what the guy before me did and that's what he did before that, before that, before that, before that. Fuck that shit. We control this shit. There's nothing outside of us that's pulling the strings. We ourselves, the choices, actions, everything, your ideas, all the things that you do and think and react to, all of that is powerful, and you can use that. It's like the saying, you can be the change that you want to see. as a person who's personally sat on the sidelines and thought that would have been cool to do that would have been cool, and never actually taking the steps to do said thing, now being the dude that I former me would look at and be like, man, that dude, he's doing some cool shit. I mean, I wish I could be doing that shit. You can, motherfucker. Like Yodi Gang says, like Fulcrum says, bro. There's no we're all the same, man. We can all do this shit. And all of us, I feel like, deserve to have, because, right, we're born into this life, right? And this is what I've always had a problem with this saying, right? And it's something to the effect of, life is shitty, but that's just the way it is, so fuck you, get used to it. Who said life had to be shitty? I'm sorry, pause. Who's the one that dictated, that said, life must be horsecock? I didn't say that. But other people struggling, we didn't. But at the same time, we are the ones that are actively enforcing the shittiness of the horsecockery life, because we're not taking any steps to do anything different. So then the people after us are living horsecock shitty lives because there was nothing done previously about it, right? So now we have the power, we have the tools, we have the energy. Let us make and create the most idealized and the best version of ourselves, right? Because it's not unattainable, it's not unachievable. You can do what you want to do. Even some of the craziest, you could be sitting here right now and being like, man, I want to fold Alexis, Texas like a table, but there's no fucking way. I live in Arkansas and I smoke mids. Motherfucker, you can do that shit. I personally, I don't have her number. I can't help you with that. But there are steps that you can take. You know what? You might meet this dude that's a cool DJ, and all of a sudden that cool, at a bar, and then that DJ at that bar, he just knows this guy, and next thing you know, you have the fucking number to her manager, and next thing you know, you're fucking folding her over a couch 6 months later. Crazier shit's happened, man. And I'm just trying to emphasize and let you guys know, it's real. You can do this shit. My PC is the first and most prime example of that. I love computers and I love technology, and I've been a little fucking gamer boy since I grew up, right? It wasn't until, it was February of 20, wasn't until I was 19 years old that I got a PC. But I've been in, and all my friends and everyone since middle and high school have had and have PCs, right? So I've been missing out on the gaming on the PC master race, if you will. I've been missing that shit for the better part of a decade, probably, right? Well, no, because 9, that wasn't really. For a while. Most of my gaming history was on console, even though I knew so much about PC and how all the benefits of the PC, yada, 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 right? And even with a job, I still, because again, out of sight, out of mind. If it's out of here, I don't fucking see it, right? It wasn't until I kind of stepped out of that and I realized, like with this tattoo, like, you are in a position and can put yourself in a position to achieve and unlock the things that you want to do. And it may be a super tall order, right? Your end game might be becoming president, right? But you can take steps locally. You can become your mayor. You can go up from the mayor. You can become the fucking senator, or the senator to the governor, right? There's ways and things that you can do and steps that you can take along the way, along what you want to be doing, that aren't really as insurmountable as you think, right? Endgame, huge as fuck, but you break that shit down, and it's really not that many things you have to do. And that makes it even more manageable and makes it even easier. And for a broken person like me, first realizing how easy it was to take those first few steps, right? Because I think I said before, for me personally, the hardest part of any process is those first steps. I will drag my feet. Even doing this shit, bro. When's the last time I uploaded? I uploaded the first time in August. Second episode was like exactly 2 months later. Yeah, it was like 2 months later in October, and then here we are, motherfucking in November, and now I have my third episode. Now I have my fucking camera, right? But I'm taking the steps and I'm doing the thing tomorrow or the next day, depending on how much I get paid. And after I take out money to cover bills and tattoos and all that stuff, I'm going to get a second monitor So that way I can get my streaming setup popping. I already have my streaming account. I already have everything I need. I just need another screen to put everything on so I can have this one to be able to, do the do, and then that one to be able to also do the do, but do separately, right? But now I'm in a position where I have a job that I get paid money from, obviously. I'm not working for free, that I can drop $100 to go get a 24-inch 1080p monitor that I can go smack right there. And then that puts me one step closer. It's like, there's no other... Like, I was the king at putting barriers in front of me and the thing I wanted to do, but now I've been on the exact opposite shit, and I've been just destroying anything that's been in the way of me wanting to do that thing. And now it's like, I've been working on not giving myself excuses. I've been doing my homework, so there's literally no reason that I can't do that, right? Oh, I can't do this because... Nope, did that. I can't do... Nope, I already did that. But no, oh no, but there's the other, no, I that thing 3 weeks ago, nope, took care of that. What? I did it all, right? So now I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go and start doing this one little thing, and the next thing I fucking know, doing that one thing leads to that one thing, leads to that one thing. Next thing I know, I have a fucking podcast, and now I have a fucking webcam, and I've been rambling to you guys for almost 2 hours now, and it's my third episode. I'm making music, made those, like, it's all coming together. It's like boomerang. It always comes back, right? It's always coming back to you, right? I'm just trying to impart into other people, let you guys know that this shit, we, all of us, we can do this shit. It doesn't have to be an idea of, oh, that would be long. We don't have to long to achieve things. Gone are the days of longing for something. Now are the days of actively taking steps to achieve said thing, And like my next goal now, after I get this tattoo, I'm going to hit up my artist, and I'm going to talk to her in a couple days, actually, if she's down. I want to do a 12-month tattooer. I want to get starting next year, January through December, I want to get a new tattoo every single month. Because I'm in the position right now, I can't predict the future, but I got a job that pays me and I'm working tomorrow, and so far for the rest of the week I can stay the same. So if I can extrapolate, I assume in January I'll be doing the same, and in February and March and April and May and June, and I'll be making enough money like I have now to be able to do this. So why not? Why not actively take the steps that get me closer to being that dope-ass motherfucker that I want to be? And I've just been a lot of realization, a lot of shit coming to me recently. I was thinking about it today that, like, with this music production, and I have a lot of I have a lot of shit written in my head. I just don't have stuff to... an avenue to express it, right? And then I'm pushing what we call a U-boat, which is just this, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm pushing this thing in the back, and I'm just like, thinking about music, and I want to make a song or get into production, what I'm going to do when I get off work today. And then it hit me, I was like, yo, remember that like aptitude test thing that you took in high school in like junior year? It said that it was, I forget what it was called. It wasn't necessarily those personality tests, but it was similar to that, but like for careers. And I just remember it was like 100-question questionnaire thing, and the way you answer things based off of that, they would think that this is the most likely thing for you to do or whatever the fuck. All the tests that I did, because I did multiple times and like whatever, right? The general arc of the story of that was this motherfucker should be sitting down writing shit. It was either like a lyricist or a writer, something to do with sitting down and writing, right? And then I was just connecting the dots, and I'm like, I mean, I do love the English language. I consider myself a wordsmith. Thanks to middle school and going to a nerd neck ass middle school, I know a whole bunch of stupid ass dummy fucking words, but they sound fucking cool, and I like elevating the vocabulary, right? And at the same time, I can write like me in English. We're locked in, bro. In high school, middle school, I could write a fucking 3-page essay in like 20 minutes. And then we're not even talking fluff stuff and bullshit. Like, it's about the topic. It's about fucking the trenches of World War II. But I'm just fucking banging that shit out. And now it's like the pieces are all coming together where, hey, you should do a radio. You talk a lot. Hey, man, you should make a podcast. Aptitude test, a lyricist, a writer, da 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 da. And now I'm coming to this point of blindly stumbling, being like, I think I want to talk. I think I want to write stuff and make music. Literally everything leading up to my... For Christ's sake, Matt, Cold One on IG, I remember him back in fucking freshman, sophomore year, him wanting to be, and currently doing, being in the audio world and doing music production, audio production, all that shit. And I remember thinking the same thing and wanting to believe, I think it was an audio engineer, something like that. There was some technical musical thing that I was actually really interested in, and then I got split up from that friend group junior year with him because of some bullshit. But I had to get a completely different new group of friends, so I totally forgot about those aspirations and wanting to do that shit. So now it's just hitting me. I'm just getting all these different things that's making me realize, like, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, my stumbling now is in the direction that leads me to where I want to go. Because my problem before was, I know the end goal, I know where I'm at, I don't know what the middle part is, and now I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm still fucking fumbling around a bowl in a china shop, but I'm breaking all the dishes and I'm stomping on all the right teacups, and I'm making a beautiful fucking mess, and I'm just, these little things, the deja vu, the realization, the memories from like, oh yeah, remember, it just makes me realize, like, okay, keep doing this shit, bro. I don't know, and like with this, for example, and like with my music, all I can control is I can produce it and I can release it. That's it. After that, it's out of my control. I don't control how it's perceived and how many people see it, whatever the fuck. I just internally know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I should be doing. And now I've been taking the steps to actually be doing it. And it feels, and I'm sure you guys can tell my energy and actually seeing me, but I'm in a much better place than I was before. And I'm so happy that I am in this position. And that's why I'm trying to just really, I've been stewing in my mind thinking about it a lot. But I really am trying to impart this on people of like, you can do this, we can do this. Just because we're broken and things were fucked before doesn't mean that's how it has to be, and it doesn't mean that's how it always will be, you know? And as cliche as a saying is, it really is true. It's a bad day, not a bad life, except for people, certain percentage. There's always people worse than you, and there's always people better than you. So yeah, obviously there's somebody, and shouts out to them. I feel horrible for you. But obviously, there's plenty of people out there that have and are going to live absolute dog shit lives. And I feel bad for them. But they are the statistical anomaly, okay? Remember, just like you have your fucking 1%, the 1% of the 1%, just how you have those motherfuckers that make more money than you're ever going to see in your life, right? That motherfucker is going to be way shittier in the shittiest position that you've ever been for longer than you will ever be. So you're fucking fine, bro. You're going to be okay. You're going to come through this. And hopefully, with people like me being able to just let you know or be able to reach you and be like, hey, man, I know this shit sucks, but it's going to get better. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to fucking do this, do that, do that, do that. And we're going to make it bite-sized. We're going to make it manageable. And next thing you know, you cleaned your whole fucking room, and all you did was start with your socks. You just bundled your socks together, and then you put your undies in the drawer, and then you hung up your shirts, and then you folded your bed, and then you put your shoes away. Those little things, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, whatever, hour goes by. Oh my God, I'm in a beautiful, clean-ass hotel-looking room. It's really, I know, and again, to all you unbroken little bitch asses out there, I know what I'm explaining is very, very basic, but this is not for you. This message is for people like me who it's not that easy for us. It's not that like, come on, bro, it's right there. I'm trying to be the middleman of like, I'm trying to basically take the package of it's awesome, everything's great, all blah, 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 but make it more realistic of like, yeah, shit fucking sucks, and it's gonna suck, but here's some shit that's gonna make it suck less, and here's some shit you can do to make it really suck less. And ideally, we all get to the point where everything really sucks less. Because like I said previously, that's a saying, life sucks and then you die. Who the fuck said life sucks? Bitch, I'm not a hyena. I don't live in the wild. I'm not gonna get fucking hunted by some random fucking thing. Nah, dude. I can have a happy life. I can live. I can rest my head on a fucking purple pillow. I can sleep with a goddamn pizza pillow on a fucking mattress. Who says I have to sleep on the floor? Who says I have to sleep with cardboard on the floor? Who says I have to sleep with nothing on the floor? Who says I have to sleep on cement? Not me. You didn't tell me that. And if you did, fuck you. I'm not doing what you tell me. Right? We can be the change that we want to see. And I'm trying to bring y'all with me because you guys are the people I fuck with and the people I genuinely actually do want to help with. Because it's altruistic with you guys, and then it's selfish with everybody else. So the 1/3, the 33 and a third percent, I genuinely actually do care about your guys' happiness and being happy and thriving and all that stuff, because then having the only thing doper than you on your arc and you coming up is the people around you that are also dope on their arcs coming up. Oh, dude, that energy, whoo, that shit is fucking, ooh, mwah. So that's what I'm trying to cultivate. That's what I'm trying to get. I want everyone on their shit, and then we'll all just keep popping, and then we're all gonna be fucking huge, and all gonna be whatever we want to be. And then, as a result of us doing that shit, even people that I don't fuck with, that I don't like, that maybe don't fuck with me and don't like what I say, I'm gonna make even your life better. Again, for you, not because I necessarily care about you, but for making my life better. But for the people, the 33 and a third, I do care about you guys, and I do want your lives to be better, because even, like I said, as the net whole, even with the randos, the normies outside the circle, even them, happiness is good to be cultivated, because who wants to be shit on by some fucking stranger? I mean, I'm not German, alright? I'm not in a gimp suit. I'm not trying to be shit on by a fucking stranger. Like, the fuck is this, dude? Absolutely fucking mids. But I'm gonna take this fatty little rip here. We got a nice little bowl of JMO. It's, I believe it was garlic jelly crossed with GMO. And, holy fuck, dude. This shit, especially if I've been sipping a little bit too, because I like to have, I'm a sophisticated man. I hold this exact glass that's empty because I don't have any booze and I don't have any money yet. But I like to have this glass, and I like to just, sip on it from time to time while I'm consuming media. And I tell you what, a couple of sippy poos and a nice little rippy poo, oh my god, I'm like this, just fighting to keep my eyelids are, the little soldiers in my eyelids, just, yeah, like trying to hold my eyelids open. I'm just, what? I got so fucked up last night. I had to rewatch the same video I was watching 3 times just to understand what he was really saying. Right? I wasn't sloppy slur. I was just so gonzoed and fried. Person saying something. It was like the old school cartoons like Tom and Jerry, or like the Peanuts, right? Like the person's talking and I'm like, huh? Orschmav pizza, schmav on den, schmali schmavum. Wait, one last time? Alright guys, so I'm gonna go order this pizza and I'm gonna go live in this den. Like that. I was just so fucking gonzoed. And I had like 2 bowls and like probably that much of brandy mixed with Dr. Pepper, and that shit had me like, I was basically barred out. I was like a low-key little bar tart, and I'm just like, what, this guy? And it was so bad because I was also really fucking tired because it was Saturday night. It was Saturday night because I worked at 7, or no, it was Sunday night because I had to get up early as fuck on Sunday, right? So I was already super tired, and it was like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and I'm just in the fucking pocket. Like, I'm ready to pass the fuck out. Like, I was at the point of being crossed where I normally would be at like this time right now, like at midnight, 1 in the morning. All right, to go to bed. I was that level at like fucking 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and I was like, it's too early to go to bed, but I'm fucking tired, bro. So I'm like passed out while watching, and then I woke up like I'm literally doing the classic. Like I blink and 5 minutes goes by in the video. I'm just scrolling back, clicking back. What? It's so bad, dude. I don't know if you guys gotta let me know. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I get like roofied levels of fucked up, right? There have been nights, and again, I am a heavy drinker, but I'm working normal like hours in a normal job, and like usually around like 10 or so, like the earliest. So I'm not getting like Friday night white girl wasted all the time. But dude, there's some times where I wake up the next morning and like I don't remember how I got to bed. I put shit in weird places that I don't remember, like my remote's in the fucking bathroom. The really good one was I hopped on my computer after I had gotten home from said shift of the fuckery of the night before, and the first thing that pulled up was like a 3.5 hour podcast, and I was like an hour and a half deep. Don't remember a fucking word of it. Not a single thing. And it was even more fucking hilarious because I have like on YouTube they have you can do queues, so you can click on a video and then add it to a queue, and then they'll be in like a little list, right? I got zooty patooty probably halfway through the list, passed the fuck out, burn through like cumulatively like maybe like 5 hours worth of content of all like a dozen different fucking videos. And I just and then I get back on the computer, woke up and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I come home, log on the computer, and just halfway through a 3.5 hour podcast, and I was like, the fuck happened last night? Like, I know what I'm drinking, I know what I'm smoking, but like, dude, that shit's been like, oh, damn. Like, it's not even like I smoke that crazy or drink that crazy either, but it's like, it's that kind of shit where it's like, damn, I need to chill out. Like, I'm getting that fucked up. Like, yo, what the fuck? But you know what? I was gonna talk about, I talked about drugs a lot. So I was originally gonna do drugs, modern masculinity, and then a little book time reading, but we're already over 2 hours now. And I feel like we did pretty good about drugs and then rambled a little bit about, self-actualization afterwards. So after this rip, we're going to do a little story time, because another thing I want to do as part of my message, as part of my platform, is I want to enlighten people and bring information towards people. I don't know how you'd say, just enlightening people. So people like have an idea and may think one thing of something, and not look at it beyond that idea, right? Like purple. Hate the color purple. It's mids as fuck. But I want to be the ambassador of purple and be like, yo, purple's actually really sick. Here's what purple's popping off and been doing. Maybe consider purple. And then, to each his or her own or whatever the fuck, my goal being I just don't want you to be misconstrued. I don't want you walking around giving purple slander, acting like, oh, this is fucking purple. Oh, this is purple. This is what purple does. When in reality, purple's actually over here, not doing any of that shit. And if you just took the time to understand purple for like 5 seconds, you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. And I also, it's random rambles, bro. I am a warehouse of niche random shit. So I also just want to just give out random, like, I have all these beautiful books right here. And my little cock gun. But I have all these beautiful books, and they're all kinds of, from fucking Stephen King down there, got a camping book, jokes book, all the way to like Sun Tzu's Art of War, fucking The Last Stand, Stephen King. But the book we're going to start on, that inspired me to begin with all of this, is this right here. I know, close your eyes, Christians, it's okay, I promise. Again, follow me. I mean, to be fair, we are 2 hours deep, so if you're still here, that's sick. Most people aren't, but follow me just a little bit more. I know, on the face of it, on the surface, me no understand, therefore scary. I get it. That's why I'm here. Like I said with the previous analogy, I'm here to let you know that this thing that you don't understand or that you don't know isn't scary, isn't bad, won't hurt you, and is actually, it could be a good thing. Again, I'm just here to impart the message. You perceive it however you want. But I'd like to start with, I think, the poster child of misunderstood but also neglected to be looked into, our beautiful baby boy, the Satanic Bible by Anton Sander LaVey. Okay? Oh, it's so scary. He's bald. We're going to break into this, gamers, because there's some shit in here. You know, if you just took the time to, and that's what I'm doing here for you. You don't even have to read. I'm the one reading, right? So you don't even have to be like, oh, but I have to sit down and like, just kick back, listen to me, motherfucker. Keep doing your dishes. I hope you get home safe. I hope you get to work safe, right? Keep doing your thing, right? Throw me on eating some food. Do your thing. I'm gonna just be here. I'm gonna bust out some bars and just help enlighten and help people understand something that they may or may not have otherwise wanted to or maybe even thought about trying to understand, Because that's truly where it starts to being able to change things that are happening. We have to start with the perception and with our understandings of what things are, right? Because if we have a preconceived notion of something and we can't get around that, like I said, if we're grown up and it's fuck purple on site just because all my homies hate purple and we never once stop to think and ask why purple, I want us to be over here to, sure, it's fuck purple all day, but why? Figure out why it's fuck purple all day. Then on our own decide, maybe purple's not that bad. Like, from what I've seen, from what I've sourced, this isn't the propaganda that I've been told. I'm trying to anti-war on drugs propaganda, all kinds of information. Okay, I want us to understand and to be more knowledgeable and be enlightened, and that way we can actually. I don't even know where I'm going with it. I'm just trying to. I want to. And what's more fun and unique and original than being a fucking Satanist? I mean, come on. It's like, dude, especially in this day and age, nobody's doing that shit. Like, literally, nobody. I'm like a pioneer of this shit. So, we're going to get this, gamers. And I have a couple bookmarks because I've already been reading through it, obviously. But, yeah, there's a lot of cool shit in here. And I want to impart knowledge and wisdom upon people because that's what I'm here to do. But before that, we're going to take a nice, fatty fucking rip of this JMO. Cheers, everybody. I hope you guys are smoking. I hope you guys are sipping, tripping, dipping, fucking all that shit. Whatever you're doing. Even if you're bone sober, first of all, RIP. Second of all, RIP. Third of all, let me know. Whatever state of mind, of physical body, of region, let me know. If motherfuckers in Morocco are getting down on some Moroccan hashish to this shit, let me fucking know. If you're blazing up in Hong Kong to this shit, let me fucking know. Russians, if you guys, I mean, fuck your leader, but if you guys are puffing on some fucking Alpine Chronic out there, like, let me know, bro. I want to know. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It sounds like a nuke alarm outside. That was creepy. The just faded. Alright, well, if we're getting nuked, I'm gonna take this fucking rip, guys. Cheers. Milky. And see, back to what we were talking about before with like legalization, regulation, all that shit. No offense to the plug or anything, But there's been a couple strains I picked up where I'm just hacking up a fucking lung. I'm dying for like 5 minutes straight. That's because it wasn't flushed right, it wasn't cured right, whatever. This JMO from the Dispo, because there was fucking this dude's fingerprints touched this part of this plant, and this is where the fucking cum from this plant went, and because everything is meticulously detailed, right? The shit's smooth as fuck. You just saw the fat ass rip. That was weed. That wasn't no Delta 8, bro. That was some good fucking kush. And I'm right back here yelling right after I just ripped it. Like, I would not be able to do that with other strains that I've been smoking. And that's another advantage of a Dispo. Some clean fucking smokes, dude. I mean, come on. Come on. Who wants to be, like, who said you got a cough to get off, huh? If you ain't choking, you ain't smoking? Nah, dude, you're smoking mids, and that's why you're choking. I'm good. All you European fucks and Australian fucks, look here. Why are you putting tobacco in your fucking weed, bro? What are we doing? What are we doing? Stop. Get some help. Okay? There's hemp wraps. There's papers. And if you're it's one thing to be a blunt smoker, okay? If you're just Wiz Khalifa, I put 3.5 in a wood, bro, I smoke it to the face. Sure. That's fine. Whatever. If you're posted up in fucking Bridgerton, fucking Queens Abbey, fucking Warsaw, if you're posted up in the European region and you're like, yeah, I have some flour, some good kush, and I'm just gonna mix some fucking tobacco with it. Mids, bro. What the fuck you doing? Like, you're killing my high right now just thinking about you ripping a bowl like that with tobacco. And you know what? I'm not sitting in a glass house. I'm casting stones in a steel house. As a person that at one time in high school was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's save the guts from a swisher or something. And I smoked moles, a little mole bowls, did a little bit of weed, tobacco, weed, or a little bit of tobacco, weed, tobacco. I've done it. I get it. Stop. It's bad. You're ruining your weed. Like, nicotine's honestly the most mids drug on earth. Your lungs will thank you. Your mom will thank you. The government will thank you. Stop smoking tobacco. Or if you know what? No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Because I respect, especially in this day and age, I respect motherfuckers that still smoke, okay? If you're doing if you're long hauling on a fucking Marb Red, fucking salute you. Because at least you're not doing this it's like booze, right? If the end game of drinking this poison juice, this poison water, is to get fucked up, right? I'm going to drink the most concentrated version of said poison juice to get to the effects faster, right? I'm not going to be sipping on a fucking 5% seltzer, whatever the fuck, and drink 15 of those just to get the same level of sloshed I can get in 4 shots, right? Same thing with tobacco. If you're puffing on a little cigarette, at least you're going straight to the source. You're not white clawing and ruining your fucking weed by putting tobacco in it. Stop. And especially to you, all of you in the British Isles, shouts out to the Highlands, Wales, a little bit to Ireland. Fuck those plebs down there towards the south. The Queen just died, okay? Stop smoking bowls with tobacco, okay? New rule. Queen's dead, no more tobacco. No more moles. You can still snap it. You can sink your cone, bruv. You can still have that. Just take out the mids, bro. Take out the mids. What are you doing? Take out the mids. That's all I'm saying. As a fellow Highlander, it hurts my lungs to know that my people are out here just. Oh, I smoke every morning, and I make sure to have a fatty little bit of tobacco in there. No, stop. Let those fucking, let those little, oh, brother, it's got this in Manchester, I'm smoking on the Zaza. Let those fucking idiots smoke tobacco and fucking weed, but not you. Oi, this is an all call to my people in Ireland. Stop smoking tobacco in your fucking weed. That shit's for the fucking Protestants. Fuck the fucking Protestants. Oi, if I catch a fellow Catholic around here smoking with the fucking tobacco, I'm gonna fucking smack him upside the head. Unreal. Do you see, oh fuck, you see people in Thailand doing that shit? No. Do you see people in South America doing that shit? No. People in Canada? No. Think about it. Think about it. You fucks don't even have a good old American grade A Kraft mac and cheese because it has dye yellow 35 and this, that's unhealthy. We're not going to have it. And yet you put your tobacco in your bowls. Unreal. Get a grip. Jesus Christ. See, I'm so pressed I can't this makes me cringe. You guys make me cringe. Just smoke the herb how it was intended, man. You think that 5,000-year-old shaman would appreciate you just busting down some fucking gorilla cookies? Poured way too much. Busting down some gorilla cookies and then throwing fucking tobacco in it? Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Well, somebody's in trouble. See, I'm in trouble. I fucked up. I'm trying to figure out how to not waste weed, but I feel like I'm gonna have to waste weed. Actually didn't really waste that much weed. We actually got most of it. Would you look at that? Would y'all look at that? For Christ on a cross, did you look at that? I could have sworn I saw a fairy fort over there. It's unreal. Oh, you watch out for the fairies. Come on. Come on. You were just so eager to just overfill like 2 seconds ago, and now I'm fucking tapping you like, come on, buddy, bar's closed, let's get out of here. And you're like, grumbling, giving me bullshit. Come on. What are we doing here? Jesus. Shouldn't. You know what? I was gonna do another song rip, but fuck it. We'll bust out the little beaker, little Niso. This dude fucking chucks. This I'm probably gonna cough from. Cause Midas, the Zong, like, yeah, he's really fucking big, but that, like, the equation just equals fucking good smoke, like smooth. This dude, I think it's because he's so compact. It just uppercuts you. You just can't help it, dude. You're about to see. I'm about to fucking die, but it's a good death. Cause then afterwards, I'm gonna be reading like this, and then the pears in the tree, and then the pears in the tree. Like, I'm about to be fucked up right now, but in the best way possible. Try like cause I know fucked up has like a negative connotation, like damn, he got fucked up, dude, like it was bad. But no, I'm getting like good fucked up, like, yo, I want to get that fucked up, and that kind of fucked up. Here is our beautiful Niso. Another fabulous bowl of GMO loaded. See my throat? It's like, my throat fucking knows. It's like already preemptively like getting dry. Like, it's gonna make me cough. Like, don't dry out, you son of a bitch. You got rips to take here. Okay. Cheers, everybody. Me. Oh. Ugh. See, what did I tell you, dude? I don't know what it is about this fucking piece. That shit smacks. Ugh. All right, everyone, gather round, sit in a circle, crisscross applesauce, if you please. Today, in Circle Time Reading, our first book is going to be The Satanic Bible by Anton Sander LaVey. Ooh. I know, controversial first book, but fuck it. How else are you going to start a book club? Read a normal book? Nerds. Okay. We're just going to, you know what? We'll go front to back. We'll go full thing front to back. So, here we go. And then this is, his signature's honestly pretty hard. I fuck with it. Little devil's tail. I love that. That's fucking sick, actually. Anton Sander LaVey. Okay. Called, quote, the Black Pope by many of his followers, Anton LaVey began the road to high priesthood of the Church of Satan when he was only 16 years old and an organ player in a carnival. I'm already... That's what? Fucking 20-something words? Alright, we got this. Quote, on Saturday night, I would see men lusting after half-naked girls dancing at the carnival, and on Sunday morning, when I was playing the organ for tent show evangelists at the other end of the carnival lot, I would see these same men sitting in the pews with their wives and children, asking God to forgive them and purge them of the carnal desires. And the next Saturday night, they'd be back at the carnival or some other place of indulgence. I knew that then the Christian church thrives on hypocrisy, and that man's carnal nature will out. That's a weird way to phrase it. Will out. From that time, early in his life, his path was clear. Finally, on the last night of April, 1966... That's honestly hilarious. Don't want to dox myself, but my birthday's late April. So, that's kind of funny. And he did that on purpose. 1966? Come on, dude. So... On the last night of April 1966, Walpurgisnacht, the most important festival of the believers in witchcraft, Walpurgisnacht. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Walpurgisnacht. The most important festival of the believers in witchcraft, LaVey shaved his head in the tradition of ancient executioners and announced the formation of the Church of Satan. He had seen the need for a church that would recapture man's body and his carnal desires as an object of celebration. As objects of celebration. And, you know, this is the 60s. Not to wokeify it, but we're going to say recapture people's bodies. You know, boys, girls, MBs, everything. We want everyone to be thriving. Not just men. Not just men. We'll continue. Quote, since worship of fleshly things produces pleasure, he said, there would then be a temple of glorious indulgence. So that's the beginning. That's the foundations of LaVeyan Satanism. Now, got a little dedicationary. So here we are. Opening the Adamantine Gates, an introduction to the Satanic Bible by Magus Peter H. Gilmore. That dude better be British, because that's a British Harry Potter ass name. This book has the potential to change your life. It did mine. It's a diabolical work written with elegance, earthiness. Damn, this guy is really fucking blowing him for this. What is this? Oh, it's the greatest thing I ever read. Jesus Christ, it saved my life. I get so much pussy now. It's unreal. Like, chill, bitch. Anyway, written in elegance, earthliness, and might, serving quite magically as a mirror. If you look within these pages and see yourself, if you find its principles to be those you've lived by as long as you can remember, if you feel the evocation of an overwhelming sense of homecoming, then you have discovered that you are part of a, quote, scattered meta-tribe. Welcome to the meta-tribe. And the proper name for what you are is Satanist. I first encountered Anton Sander LaVey through the Satanic Bible. At the age of 13, when I was when I was an avowed atheist. See, that's how they get them. That's how the devil gets them. He's a young boy. He's atheist. Then he goes on reading that demon Bible. Now he's a Satanist. He's worshiping children. Worshiping Satan, killing babies, eating cum. It's disgusting. Ugh, makes me cringe. Yes. Yeah, okay. I had to find where I was. I haven't read, if you can tell, I haven't read in a minute, okay? And I'm not in fucking 11th grade anymore, and it's like circle time reading class, alright? So forgive me. It's 1 in the morning. I'm a little fried, and I'm reading some pretty small print text. So, give me a break. Where were we? Right here. At 13, when I was an avowed atheist, not being partial to literature promoting faith of any sort, I was pleasantly surprised that this was no rant by someone claiming direct contact with Satan. Instead, I found a common sense, rational, materialist philosophy, along with theatrical ritual techniques meant as self-transformative psychodrama. Which is true, as you'll see. Here was a tool perfectly suited to my nature as a means for getting the most out of my life. I knew that, quote, atheist was no longer sufficient as a designation for myself. This book led me to meet and befriend LaVey, working with him to administer the church he created, and finally to succeed him as the second high priest of the Church of Satan. See, what the fuck was I talking about literally earlier tonight? Homeboy picks this up, reads this, is like, yo, this is fire. Works his way, meets, befriends, then becomes this. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's real shit. It's real shit. It's one of Anton LaVey's numerous talents that his written words are vivid, brimming with his distinct personality. His well-wrought phrases give the sense of encountering the man himself, and such an impression is not a delusion. When my wife, Peggy Nadremia, that's a dope-ass last name, and I met, quote, the doctor, an affectionate moniker used by those close to him. That's pretty sick. We agreed that there was exactly the man we had dared to expect from reading his books. Unlike the founders of other religions who claimed exalted, quote, inspiration delivered through some supernatural entity, LaVey readily acknowledged that he used his own faculties to synthesize Satanism. He based it on both his understanding of the human animal acquired from life experience and the wisdom he gained from other advocates of materialism, pragmatism, and individualism. His blasphemously named, quote, Church of Satan was consciously designated to be an adversary to existing, quote, spiritual belief systems. It was the first organization promulgating a belief, promulgating a religious philosophy championing Satan as the symbol of liberty and individualism. Concerning his role as a founder, he said that if he didn't do it himself, someone else perhaps less qualified would have. His perspective insights thus led him to give a proper name to a human type that's always been a part of our species. LaVey was born in Chicago in 1930, and his parents soon relocated to California, westernmost gathering place for the brightest and darkest manifestations of the American dream. Quote, American dream. It was a fertile environment for the sensitive child who'd eventually mature into a role that the press would dub, quote, the Black Pope. From his Eastern European grandmother, young LaVey learned that the superstitions that are still extant in that part of the world. From his Eastern European grandmother, young LaVey learned of the superstitions that are still extant in that part of the world. These tales whetted his appetite for the auteur, leading him to become absorbed in classic dark literature such as Dracula and Frankenstein. He also became an avid reader of the pulp magazines, which first published tales now deemed classics of the horror and science fiction genres. He later befriended seminal weird tales authors such as Clark Ashton Smith, Robert Barber Johnson. That's an NPC ass name. Robert Barber Johnson. That's fucking hilarious. What a great name. He threw me off. Robert Barber Johnson and George Haas. George Haas. His fancy was captured by fictional characters found in the works of Jack London and Somerset Maugham, and comic strip characters like Ming the Merciless, as well as his historical figures of diabolical casts such as Cagliostro, Cagliostro, Rasputin, and Basil Zaharoff. More interesting to him than the available occult literature, which he dismissed as being more than little sanctimonious white magic, were books of applied obscure knowledge such as Dr. William Wesley Cook's Practical Lessons in Hypnotism, Jane's Fighting Ships, and Manuals for Handwriting Analysis. His musical abilities were noticed early, and he was given free rein by his parents to try his hand at various instruments. LaVey was mainly mainly attracted to the keyboards because of their scope and versatility. He found time to practice and could easily reproduce songs heard by ear without recourse to fake books or sheet music. This talent would prove to be one of his main sources of income for many years, particularly his calliope playing during his carnival days, and later his many stints as an organist in bars, lounges, and nightclubs. These venues gave him the chance to study how various melodic lines and chord progressions swayed the emotions of his audiences, from the spectators at the carnival and spook shows to the individuals seeking solace for the disappointments in their lives and distilled spirits, and the smoke-filled taverns for which LaVey's playing provided a moody soundtrack. His odd interests marked him as an outsider, and he did not alleviate this by feeling any compulsion to be, quote, one of the boys. He ain't one of them boys. He despised gym class and team sports and often cut class to follow his own interests. Moving beyond the human behavior on every level, from the impulses of the individual to the dynamics of the herd, he watched films that would later be labeled film noir, as well as German expressionist cinema such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and the Dr. Mabuse movies. Mabuse. His taste for flashy apparel also served to amplify his alienation from the mainstream. He dropped out of high school to hang around the hoodlum types and gravitated towards working in the circus and carnivals from a roustabout, first as a roustabout and a cage boy, and later as a musician. His always active curiosity was rewarded as he, quote, learned the ropes from the carnies. He worked and acted with the big cats, he had an affinity for those powerful predators, and later assisted with the machinations of the spook shows. He became well versed in the many rackets used to separate the rubes from their money, along with psychology that led people to such pursuits. Under the name, quote, the Great Zander, he played Calliope, whatever, we'll call it C. Fuck it. He played that and organ for body shows on Saturday nights, as well as for tent revivalists on Sunday mornings, seeing many of the same men attending both and noting this telling contradiction. All of these activities provided a firm, earthy background for his evolving, cynical worldview. When the carnival session ended, LaVey would earn money by playing organ in Los Angeles area burlesque houses, and he relates that it was during this period that he met and had a brief affair with then unknown Marilyn Monroe. Bet you didn't fucking know that, bitch. And, unknown Marilyn Monroe after accompanying her, quote, chain-dragging striptease at the Mayan Burlesque Theater. Moving back to San Francisco, LaVey worked for a while as a photographer for the police department. Ironic. And, fuck, I keep always losing my space. For the police department, and during the Korean War enrolled in the San Francisco City College as a criminology major to avoid the draft. Fuck yeah, baby. I'm pulling out the bone spurs. I'm going to college. Fuck the draft. Especially was that Korean War. That one was fucked. Fuck going to the Korean War. I just saw what they did to our boys in fucking Vietnam. I ain't doing that shit. No, not today. Not today, baby. Hey, I do the same thing. Shit. Both his studies and occupation revealed grim insights into human nature and confirmed his rejection of spiritual doctrines. At this time, he met and married Carol Lansing, who bore him his first daughter, Carla Maritza, in 1952. A few years earlier, LaVey had examined the writings of Aleister Crowley, so in 1951 he decided to meet some of the Berkeley Thelemites. He was unimpressed as they were more mystical and less, quote, wicked than he supposed they should be for disciples of Crowley's libertine creed. During the 1950s, LaVey supplemented his income as an investigator of alleged supernatural phenomena, handling, quote, nut calls referred to him by friends in the police department. These experiences proved to him that many people were inclined to seek bizarre, quote, otherworldly explanation for phenomena that had prosaic causes. His rational explanations often disappointed the complainants, so LaVey invented exotic sources to make them feel better, giving him insights as to how belief functions in people's lives. In 1956, he purchased a Victorian house on California Street in San Francisco's Richmond district. Fucking throat after that second rip, dude. Jesus. It was reputed to have been a speakeasy and was tricked out with secret passages, possibly to aid in clandestine carnal activities. He painted it black, thus creating a haunted intrusion on an otherwise typical block, matching his own unique presence. That's hard as fuck, dude. Pulling up in a neighborhood and just murdering out the house. Just, all black. Dude, I fuck with that. That's heavy. I love that. Thus creating a haunted intrusion on an otherwise typical block, matching his own unique presence. It was only natural that it would later become home to the Church of Satan. Of course. After his death, the building remained unoccupied, a brooding, quote, shunned house, until it was demolished on October 17th of 2001 by the real estate company that owned the property. Mids. Real estate companies? Mids. Come on. You're gonna destroy a dead man's home a month and a week after 9/11. Really? A month and a week after 9/11 and you're breaking this dude's house down? Motherfucker's not even... What, can you make a historical site? Made it like a museum or something. Fucking libs, you just had to destroy it, huh? No respect. Unreal. Let's see. By the real estate company that owned the property. LaVey met and became entranced by Diane Hegarty in 1959. He then left Carroll in 1960. Hegarty and LaVey never married, but she bore him his second daughter, Zena Galetia, in 1964, and was his companion for many years. Hegarty and LaVey later separated. She sued him for palimony, and this was settled out of court. Palimony? What is that? Alimony for being a friend? Hey, you've been a real good buddy of mine, but, you're gonna have to pay me $450 for, us hanging out. It's palimony. It's what you owe me for me being your friend. Like, what the fuck is palimony? Okay. Sure. Through his, quote, ghost busting, his frequent public gigs as an organist, including playing the Wurlitzer at the Lost Weekend Cocktail Lounge, LaVey became a local celebrity, and his holiday parties attracted many San Francisco notables. Guests included Karen de Plessin, called, quote, the Baroness, as she grown up in the Royal Palace of Denmark, anthropologist Michael Harner, Chester A. Arthur III, grandson of to the U.S. President, Forrest J. Ackerman, later the publisher of Famous Monsters of Finland, an acknowledged expert on science fiction, author Fritz Lieber, local eccentric Dr. Cecily Nixon, creator of the musical automation Isis, and underground filmmaker Kenneth Anger. It's a hard-ass last name. Last name, Anger. Yeah, I'm just Kenny. Kenny fucking Anger. Nice to meet you. He's like, oh, sick. My name's Danny Danger. Like, what kind of names are these? What are we doing here? Okay. Over here. Yep. Nixon. Yep. Okay. From this crowd, LaVey distilled what he called, quote, a magic circle of associates who shared his interest in the bizarre, the hidden side of what moves the world. As his expertise grew, LaVey began presenting Friday night lectures summarizing the fruits of his research. In 1965, LaVey was featured on the, quote, The Brother Buzz Show, a humorous children's program hosted by marionettes. The focus was on LaVey's Addams Family lifestyle, making a living as a hypnotist, investigator of the paranormal, and organist, as well as on his highly unusual pet, Toger, a Nubian lion. I have to look that up. That's a Nubian lion? That sounds like the hardest, most regal shit. of all time. Nubian lion. Whoa. Damn, so like, whoa. This is just like the, what? Yeah, what the fuck is this, young male? Why are there not more images of this? Damn. That thing looks evil as fuck. That thing looks like Scar, bro. What the fuck? I could see why he would fuck with this. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's a mugging ass fuck, and it's in black. It's a black and white picture from 1903 of a young male Nubian lion in New York Zoo. Motherfuckers just posted up, looking just fucking sinister, And it doesn't help that he's in black and white. So like the top of his head's really dark, so I assume like he probably has actually black on his mane, and then this and everything, and the rest of his body's like lighter to white, like more gray to white shades. But damn, that is a mugging ass cat. Fuck, bro. I just had to look that up. I had to see what the fuck a Nubian lion. Like what the fuck? I didn't know a new fucking lion dropped. I guess technically it was that's an OG one because that shit's like 100 years ago. Well, I guess more than that. Let's see. Anyway, so Pet Togar, Togare, Togare. Fuck the Italians. Fuck the Italians and the French. You guys suck. It's just what it is. You're mid. Sorry, not sorry. You're mids. In the process of creating his lectures, LaVey noticed many common threads, which he then began weaving into a tenebrous conceptual tapestry. Bars. Tenebrous conceptual tapestry. That's unreal. Wow. When a member of his magic circle suggested that he had the basis for a new religion, LaVey agreed and decided to found the Church of Satan as the best means for communicating his ideas. And so, in 1966, on the night of May Eve, the traditional witches' Sabbath, LaVey declared the founding of the church. See, that's hard too, bro. I fuck with the witches, the Wiccan, our warlocks. You know, I mean, I'm looking for a wicked woman myself. So you know, if this video reaches any beautiful Wiccan women, please, send me an email. Email's down below. I'd love to correlate some correspondence with you. That'd be just swell. But anyway, let me get back to reading, okay? Okay. So, declared the founding of the Church of Satan and renumbered 1966 as the year 1, Anno Satanas, the first year of the age of Satan. Fuck, yeah. Let me do some quick math here. And this is bad because, like, I know people that are born in this year, but I don't know what the fuck time that is from now. I need... Okay. So, if in 1966 he made it the year 1, and that was 56 years ago, I'm terrible at math. We're either in the 55th or the 57th year of our Lord Satan. I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not... My strong suit's English, not math, okay? Would it be 50? I'm going to say it's 56. Fuck it. It's 56. We're in the 56th year of our Lord. Anno Satan. Damn, that's hard as fuck. Anno Satanas. So we're in the 50s. We're in the 56th year of our Lord, yeah. Praise Satan, hail Satan, all that fun stuff, yeah. The attention of the press soon followed, particularly with the wedding of radical journalist John Raymond to New York socialite Judith Case on February 1st, 1967. Famed photographer Joe Rosenthal was sent by the San Francisco Chronicle to capture an image that went onward to the pages of the LA Times and other prominent newspapers. LaVey began the mass dissemination of his philosophy via the release of a record album, The Satanic Mass, quote, Morgenstern 1968. The album featured a cover graphic named by LaVey as, quote, the Sigil of Baphomet, the goat head in a pentagram circled with the Hebrew word Leviathan, which has since become the ubiquitous symbol of Satanism. See, motherfuckers? See, this is what I'm trying to impart knowledge onto y'all. This shit right here, right? This guy right here, this little Blingington, right? This guy right here. Only came out 56 years ago. Okay? So all you Judeo-Christian and all you fucking Abrahamic Hebrew religions, this shit just started, okay? And you're bitching about satanic panic and motherfucking just made this shit. This shit just dropped literally over half a century ago. Like, this is iconic. Everyone knows what the fuck this is, dude. Like, this is just as powerful, as potent as JC posted up. And this has been around for what? A 16th of the time? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, the since become the ubiquitous symbol of Satanism. Featured on the album was part of the Rite of Baptism, written for the 3-year-old Xena, performed on May 23rd, 1967. In addition to the actual recording of a satanic ritual, side 2 of the LP had LaVey reading excerpts from the as-yet unpublished The Satanic Bible over music by Beethoven, Wagner, and Sosa. That's hard as fuck, bro. I gotta find the recordings of that. Reading this book, like later actually, not reading like the preface, but actually reading the book over some fucking, I can already picture the fucking Beethoven, dude. That's hard as fuck. I'm fucking up. I need to be reading this shit to some like, right, and just, yo, busting it down in 1966. Dude, that is, what a great way. No wonder this shit went viral. What a marketing fucking genius, dog. I mean, shit. The idea itself, the product's not bad, but goddamn, the advertising, you just can't beat it. Look at that. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Jesus. Unreal. His Friday lectures continued, and he instituted a series of, quote, witches' workshops, hard as fuck, to instruct women in the art of attaining their will through glamour, feminine wills, and the skillful discovery and exploitation of men's fetishes. See, that's another thing that we'll get into with this book that I fucked with, is the empowerment on both sides. It's not just about dudes getting off and like, oh, I want all these things because I'm super greedy. Nah, he was giving the secret sauce to everybody. Like, what I'm trying to do, giving this, like, this is the shit right here. Do this shit and you're fucking good. Literally doing the same shit 50 plus years later, talking about manifestation, self-actualization, becoming the person you want to be. You guys are going to hear it's the same message. It just has an edgy overtone of, ooh, just, I'm Satan, I'm a Satanist, I'm spooky. But genuinely, the concepts and ideas and the belief systems in this shit are actually pretty rational. And if you just hear me out and let me read and have your ears open, maybe it'll just sneak in a little bit and be like, huh, maybe that wasn't what I thought it was, Again, I don't control what you do, but I'm just here. I'm just reading the good book, if you will. I'm just preaching out here, okay? So let me get back to my corner and keep preaching, okay? Let's see. There we go. By the end of 1969, nice, LaVey had taken monographs he had written to explain the philosophy and ritual practices of the Church of Satan and expanded them. His influence included philosophers such as Ayn Rand, Nietzsche, Mencken, the base wisdom of the carnival folk, the observations of P.T. Barnum, and finally the imagery of archfiend found in the imagery of archfiend found in Twain, Milton, Byron, and other romantics. He prefaced these essays and writes with reworked excerpts from Ragnar Redbeard's Might is Right, and concluded it with satanized versions of John D. Enochian keys to create, quote, the Satanic Bible. I murked that, but that was a fucking struggle. Ragnar Redbeard? Shit, call me Ragnar Redbeard. What the fuck? That's hard as fuck, dude. Ragnar Redbeard? I swear to God, if that motherfucker didn't have a red beard, I'm gonna be highly pissed off. Cause like, I can't be walking around being like, oh, I'm fucking Blackbeard. Like, oh, what the fuck, dude? What are we doing? What are we doing? The versions of John Dee's Enochian keys to create the Satanic Bible. It has never gone out of print and remains the main source for the contemporary Satanic movement. And now, through me and us together, I mean, it's already online, but now it's even further online. It's getting disseminated even further, and now it's on the internet forever. Watch out, we're gonna eat your babies and we're gonna fuck your dogs. Watch out, dude. Shit, hide your kid, hide your wife. You know what I'm saying? Hide your dad too. Shit, hide your hubby too. Shit, we might fuck him too. You never know. Unreal. The philosophy presented in it is an integrated whole, not a smorgasbord from which one can pick and choose. It is only meant for a select few who are Epicurean, pragmatic, worldly, atheistic, fiercely individualistic, materialistic, rational, and darkly poetic. There may be fellow travelers, atheists, misanthropes, humanists, free thinkers, who see only a partial reflection of themselves in the show stone. Satanism, thus, may attract these types in some ways, but ultimately it is not for them. If it was only a philosophy, such individualists might be welcome. It is more. Satanism moves in the realm of religion by having an aesthetic component, a system of symbolism, metaphor, and ritual in which Satan is embraced not as a devil, as some devil to be worshipped, but as a symbolic external projection of the highest potential of each individual Satanist. The identification Satanists have with Satan is an intentional barrier against those who cannot resonate with this sinister archetype. See? It's like my people filter, right? I'm going to get not the sigil, but I'm going to get a depiction of Baphomet, right? For myself personally, meaning just everything in this book about just self-actualization, self-enlightenment, fulfillment, right? You are your own God. There isn't external shit that's controlling you. You are the creator of what happens, right? As much as you can just react to things, you can also create things as well. And that's what that tattoo means to me, and that's what this book is and means in the same way. Is that, like, for the people who don't like this, who are upset by this, whatever, that's fine. It's not for you. You can keep it pushing. Again, for the people 25, 50, 75, 80, 90% there, most of the way, you get some of it, and we can agree on those things, and that's chill. And I love that. But again, with peace and love, fam, it's not for you. This shit, like I said before, I'm only here for 33 and a third percent. Fuck the 2/3, okay? This is only for the 1/3, okay? 2/3 can't handle this shit. 2/3, 2 and 3 people listening to this probably tuned off. Well, if they got to this, probably tuned off immediately as soon as I talked about this. And then one person is still there, is like, okay, maybe I'll hear him out. And then maybe that one person was turned off by something. The amount of people that this reaches, realistically, like, 2 people are going to be actually like, wow, that this is really impactful. Felt in the same way that the author that's writing the preface and I have felt, of fully identifying with not just the philosophies but also the theology, so to speak, behind it. That's what I'm trying to, as well as just, again, it's good information to have in general, but I feel like this especially has such a bad rep, and living in such a Judeo-Christian influenced world where, their arbitrary stories of how shit is and their whatever negatively impacts my life, and So for me, being the inverse, right? You act like your belief system and what you do is the greatest and best way to approach life, while meanwhile you are creating the most destruction and hurt in the world, right? Doing the exact opposite, where I'm projecting I am the boogeyman. I am Satan in the flesh. I am going to fuck your dad. That is going to happen. I'm going to steal your car. I'm going to fuck your dad. I'm going to eat all your food. It's going to happen. Ooh, watch out. I'm super scary, right? For those people, but in reality, the shit that we're talking about is just being a good person and helping other people and self realization, self actualization. On the outside, on the surface, we look like this motherfucker, like, yo, watch out, you don't want to be fucking with this. But when you actually look behind it, you're like, oh, some like golden rule type shit. Oh, I could get down with that. Yeah, no, littering's mids. Don't litter. Oh, no, this is okay. So this label makes it seem like it's super, like, ooh, watch out. But the actual core tenets of it, like, I could get behind that. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I'm trying to break through the seal of, oh my god, it's Satanism. Ooh, it's scary, and the misconceived perceptions and notions that people have, and try and let people know and enlighten people, like, no, it's not what this necessarily is. This is actually what it is. And I'm going to show you what it is. Similar to what we were talking about before. It's not always that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Here's an alternative to that way and to that way of thinking, right? It's all coming together. It's all like a little bow wrapped together. And the greatest part is I'm just getting fucked up living life, and that's it. And by just doing that and doing what I perceive to be the best I can be doing at any given time or situation or whatever, that that's all I can do. But it's sick as fuck, because by doing seemingly just the news, I am actively putting myself and actively getting closer to becoming the person that, if I were to see them, I would honestly, I'm trying to become the person I'm jealous of. Like that one dude that has fucking everything, right? He's hung, he's got a beautiful partner, he's got a house, he's got like everything in life that I don't have, that dude has. Instead of hating on him for having that, I'm going to take the steps and manifest that for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make the literally already happened to me. Like, I already know what that feels like, being young and living in shit, and then seeing like how dope you can be. That shit's powerful, and I want to make that shit happen, not only for myself, but for you guys as well, and for other people, you know? Because again, both in and outside of the circle, nobody says you have to have a shitty life. So let's stop creating and perpetuating the cycle that makes everybody's lives shitty, right? If we don't shit on people, there won't be shit to clean up, right? Let's stop shitting. Let's get bidets. Let's stop wiping our ass. Let's get some fucking bidets here. Let's clean up the whole thing. Let's actually do it, okay? We'll read probably this last little page, and then we'll stop for tonight, because, we're already 3 hours deep and it's 1:30 in the morning. But I was just so excited. And dude, I already have OBS. I have OBS set up, so every time I open up this app, boom, the cam's on, audio's on, microphone, boom, and I just hit record, boom, and then I do this shit to make an episode, and then I can just I don't even know if I'm gonna edit this. I'll figure out what I do afterwards with it, but I'll take that, and then I'll do a little bit light editing, don't really have to do anything, and then boom, I upload that shit, and then boom, that's another fucking, ooh, that's another episode. That's another episode. That's more shit for you guys to get out. Soon I'm gonna be hopping. I'm already in the studio, proverbially, but I'm gonna be hopping in the studio. Soon to be first song coming out. I'll keep you guys posted with that when it becomes. I'm starting to figure out and make it more a reality and more tangible. Of like, I'd like to do something like this, to taking the steps to doing stuff like that. And especially the past week, I've been getting really fucking close. So soon new music will be out. have this shit popping. I also have created my cannabis channel, and I'm gonna launch my first video there. I just have to kind of. I have a lot of stuff that I want to be doing. Primarily right now, the podcast and music production, but then there's also, like I said, the cannabis channel. I want to make that network I was talking about. I eventually want to make an apparel, clothing company. All of these things all encompass, but right now I'm just focusing on stuff like this, where I know how to do this. I can do this real quick, bang out an episode, boom, put something out. And now, after this, I can focus on, okay, I'm going to go work on, I'm going to hit the studio, make some fucking music. Then I can drop some music, start promoting that. And then I'll start just little by little. Before, when I wasn't even really thinking about this shit before, but before, when I was thinking about it, I'd be like, oh my god, there's so many things, I don't know where to start. Oh, I don't know how to do this, blah, 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 blah. But it really is as simple as log in, sign up, make an account. Here's an email, here's a password, boom. Google it. Figure how do make sound platform. And then all right, guys, so today I'm going to show you how to do this thing on this platform. I know, it's super easy, but at the same time, when you're fucking, it's hard to run when you've been limping for so long, you know what I'm saying? But I've been working on my legs, I've been working my muscles out, especially ever since getting this job. Literally and metaphorically, it's been a great workout. So that's why that's why I'm so emphatic. I'm trying to just get it out there and just because I don't know why or for what reason, probably no reason at all, but I know that this shit is the shit I'm supposed to be doing, and this shit puts me one step closer to the pinnacle of whatever is my experience. So I'm just happy to grab y'all, take y'all with me. All of us can thrive. Like I said, first episode, high tide lifts all boats. All of us sitting at the table, all of us eating, grubbing out. That's the end game. And on some big shit, on some big shit, right? Book reading's over. Fuck you, I ended it right there. Sorry, I'm gonna rant instead. Some big end game shit, getting some decent land in some inexpensive part of the country somewhere, and basically making I know there's a dude in Florida. Yeah, I think it's in Florida. He's some DJ Khaled type dude, but more redneck white trash about it. Has this party mansion. I think it's some called the Sausage Mansion or something like that. Dude just gets fucked up, has huge ass parties, mansion, all kinds of crazy shit. Basically that, but a compound. But you know what? Dude, honestly, I'm just a copy machine. I get all my ideas and shit from everything else. But I'm just now realizing, as I'm putting more thought into it and talking about it, literally what fucking what Odd Future did, what Golfwing did, and they made their own festival carnival. That's literally the same kind of shit I want to do. Make a fun land, get fucked up adult land for all the 33 1/3%, and just be just have fun, bro. Just have fun. A little club for us where we can just I want to be another thing I've realized with this job, and I've realized with psychedelics, that I really want to actively start working, and I've been doing buying gushers and having gushers for the first time in a decade. Now that I'm older and I'm working on myself and I'm now having the finances to work on myself, I want to do and experience all the shit that young me didn't get to or always idealized and wanted to do, right? When I was tripping 2 years ago in the plug's house, and I'm feeling like an absolute child because I'm eating pizza and ice cream and smoking weed and drinking and watching a fucking dope-ass thing on surround sound, fulfilling that inner childhood, those childhood desires, like I said, buying gushers and trying gushers, little things like that is so powerful. And for all we know, we just get one round, or at least in this form, we just get one round. And especially a thing that I learned from, or that I imparted from the Levian Satanism, is just indulgence. Who says, with life being shitty, who says life has to be shitty? Who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? fuck it. I'll have 2 cakes, eat one of those bitches in the morning, have the other one after I pass out and wake up again. I do what I want. Why? Because there's 2 cakes out there. I can have both cakes. There's plenty of cake out there. And there's plenty of cake out there for you guys as well. I want everyone eating cake. As much cake as possible. Fuck it. Let them eat cake or whatever that chick didn't actually kind of say but kind of said in that French quote from the Revolution. Anyway. I'm going to take a rip. And then I'm going to get out of here. Because we've been, I figured, I just knew for the video, I was like, okay, we're doing a video, I gotta go. Like, I knew I was gonna go long for it. But, I mean, goddamn, 3 hours? Like, sheesh. That's a beefy fucking podcast. So, I don't know if people actually do this. I know myself, I never really actually comment, but I do feel tempted. Maybe I will if it happens next time. We're 3 hours, 9 minutes, and 26 seconds deep on this podcast. If you are part of the 33% and you're here right now, comment, whatever, just say fucking, I don't know, purple pears. If you made it this far in the comments, just purple pears. That's it. Nothing else, just purple pears. And hopefully, right, enough y'all, if it gets far enough, it'll just be comments of like, oh, da-da-da-da-da this, and then purple pears. Purple pear. Purple pears. Purple pears. Shout out to all my purple pears out there. Alright? If you guys been rocking me with this long, I fuck with it. I mean, I'm interested to find about other people's listening habits, because I know I myself, especially when I fuck with a content creator, depending on whoever it is, I binge and burn through whole podcasts. But I know I've heard people like they drive in their cars, listen to podcasts. People make food, listen to podcasts. I personally, at work, listen to some podcasts. So I'm excited to, and now on the backside, I see my last few episodes, and the average watch time, I think, is something around like 20 or so minutes or something like that. So, I mean, it's understandable. I'm just some random fucking dude talking, so I don't really... And that's the other thing. I don't have any expectations of this. I'm just doing this, and whatever happens, happens kind of thing. But, yeah, I'm interested to see the analytical side of this. It's weird being on the backside, going from a content consumer and, the barrier to entry seeming really high, like, oh, dude, that guy's doing it, that's crazy, to now actually being literally behind the scenes in front of the screen, and then making shit, putting shit out, and then seeing people reacting to my shit and having people hitting me up and letting me know about that. This shit's crazy. And the best part is literally anyone can do it. And I know it's a cliche, and I know there's a lot of nihilism of like, but how do I this? How does this? How do... I don't know. It's okay. Not everything. You don't have to control everything. Just... It'll happen. Whatever will happen, will happen. That's what it is. And let's just go for the ride, man. Not everything has to be planned and calculated and tabulated. Sometimes, fuck it. Throw it to the wind, man. Just, I mean, shit. Statistically, your birth wasn't planned. There's not a lot of motherfuckers out here where our parents are in like, I am going to intentionally nut so I can produce a child. It's like, nah, your parents are getting wacky, wet, and wild on like a random Friday night, and then found out about a month later that they're going to have your little bitch ass, and then instead of, taking a magical little pill, they're like, alright, fine, we'll keep him, and then fucking 9 months later, your little happy candy ass came out. So, shit, if that's how we came out, and at any point I could walk out tomorrow and get hit by a bus and then I'm gone, dude. If I'm a literal random fuck from a Tuesday that spawns 9 months later, and then I can get hit by a bus and die on a Wednesday 20-something years later, I mean, just do whatever it is, dude. Who cares? Do it. You want that thing you want to do? Do it. Unless it's harmful or depending on the legality of it, basically on some conservative, if it don't hurt me and I don't have any right to tell you what to do with your life, if it don't hurt me, then by all means do it. That type of shit. Fucking do it. If there's that thing you've always wanted to do it. If you've been wondering, should I not, you're on the fence, do it. Ask her out, buy that car, move to a new city, do it. Do it. Do it. And any excuse that you give your little bitch ass self, say, shut the fuck up. No, this is what we're going to do instead. Because I'm telling you guys, it is that simple. It can be done. We can be the best we want to be, or the best we should be, the best we can be. We can be anything we want to be. It's just a matter of us taking the steps to get to that point. And even it might take however long it takes, but the point is, you're doing it, and you're on the path, and you will get there eventually. No matter how long it takes, eventually you will get there. And that's what I've been telling myself, and that's what I've been reminding myself. You know, it'll take time. Shit like this takes time. But then, shout out Fulcrum Yodi Gang, you could hit the fucking gold mine, and you could blow up. And I swear to God, literally, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, I'm watching one of his videos, recent video, 280K. I'm like, damn, Fulcrum's at 280K. Like, let's go, dude. That's fucking sick. 10-minute video. I think it was him at like, I think it was one of the, I think it was like, it wasn't Burger King. It was one of his recent restaurant videos. Anyway, it's literally a 10-minute video. 280K subs. 10-minute video's over. Click out. 340K subs. Motherfucker gained 60K subs in the matter of 10 minutes. I mean, Fulcrum's coming in. So, shit like that can also happen. Where you just fucking whoosh, and now you're fucking boom, and now your shit's hot, and you're, you know? That's the beauty of the variety of life. And that's the beauty and comfort of not knowing, honestly. Is that it makes it spicy, makes it interesting, you know? Shit gets boring if you know everything that's gonna happen, right? So that unpredictability, that element of shit, I don't know what could happen tomorrow. I feel like, if anything, I feel like that's what gives life its value and life its meaning, is the unpredictability aspect of it, you know? Like, if you asked me 2 months ago or like, if you told me 2 months ago that I would be in the position I'm at now, or looking and feeling the way that I do now, I would probably not believe you. I would believe, okay, yeah, I'm getting a grocery store job, working at a grocery store due to nepotism, whatever. But by the end of the year, having 3 tattoos, potentially going on a tattooer the next fucking year, like, just constantly up and up, I would not have believed you. I'd be like, that's bullshit. Yeah, sure, grocery store job, you probably still hate life, though. GG's, kid, right? But no, here we are. It's just happening, and every day goes by, and tomorrow puts me, or I guess technically later today, puts me 2 days away from getting my 3rd fucking tattoo, bro. And then from that, it's a month, theoretically, because again, I haven't talked to her about it yet, but theoretically, if she says yes, and we pick an appointment in January, then motherfucker, I wait a month, and then boom, January, I'm getting a new, like, we can do this, we can succeed, and we can be all that we want to be. There's plenty of whatever out there for us all to have it. There's no false scarcity. There's no reason why anyone should be without. Everyone should not only have what they need, but ideally everyone should be thriving, you know? And that's another thing we're talking about, like with laws and regulations and stuff. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I live in a decently populated city, and I've been seeing a huge increase in homeless people just around, either just in intersections, at stores, at work, just in general, just a lot more homeless people. And I'm not even going to go into that rant of homelessness, but what I'm trying to get at is I would love to be able to make a system in which we would basically take everything that capitalism failed at and use, like, basically just expand the socialism where it's like, okay, if my house burns down, then this guy's gonna come help me. If I get robbed, this guy's gonna come help me. I mean, if you're favored enough, and God forbid you get sick, this guy's gonna help you get well. I feel like it should be mandatory that everyone gets a place to live. Like, it really shouldn't be that hard, and especially when you have entire massive warehouse build. There's literally a building right by my house. It was formerly a Kmart grocery store. It's huge as fuck. It's like the size of a Costco. It's huge. It's been empty the past. It's probably been a couple years now. It's been empty, just empty. Nothing in it. Nobody's buying it. Big ass parking lot. All of it empty. Nothing's happened to it. Absolutely nothing. Right? The fuck. What if we turn that into what if we turn that into housing? Not even low income, not even affordable, just straight up. Like, again, fuck you capitalism. I'm not trying to make money, even though it financially doesn't make sense. Not everything's a fucking business. But why can't we just take some of the money, take some money and take some funds, set up a system in which there's guaranteed shelter and housing and guaranteed need fulfillment, so that, because again, like what I was talking about of fixing you assholes so you guys are nice to me, right? All you dickheads out there that complain about all these homeless everywhere, they're on the sidewalks, it's disgusting, oh, the homeless people, this is really a problem, we should do something about it. Yeah, we should put them in buildings that they can exist in safely so they aren't on the fucking sidewalk when it is negative degrees outside or triple fucking degrees outside and their poor little dog has to wear fucking booties, little feet socks, so it doesn't burn its paws on the pavement. I agree. Do I like seeing people absolutely destitute with all of their belongings on the side of the road? No. Do I like pulling up to a light and having somebody begging for help with a cardboard sign? No. That shit, all of that is terrible. The fact they're in that situation is terrible. All the events that led in their life to that is terrible. So many things in their life failed them to get them to that point in life. We're on the side of the road with God, please help me, anything help sign, right? So, at the same time, I was pulling up today because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time. Us in Hawaii don't do it. So then I looked up, okay, what percentage of the world or of America's farmers or whatever, right? 2% of the American population is currently are farmers, right? 40% of all the products that they make, 40% of the produce that is produced by these farmers, 40% of it is never eaten and is just thrown away, right? That exists money-wise everywhere. If you can have a building that it just sits there and just exists for no reason and just exists there, somebody owns that. There's something you can do with that, and then you have write-offs, tax write-offs of, oh, this is for my business, so therefore I can just write this off. I work for the Fed, so my gas is free. We already have. The money doesn't exist. This is just something that we made up, right? We can make it possible to be able to give conditions to people to make their lives they're already the strays, the fringes of society. We can make things better for those people that then make things better for us, right? Are you upset that your local park is overtaken by homeless people because they don't have anywhere to live and they can't really exist anywhere else because it's a city and it's not really a place outside of a house that you're supposed to live? Are you upset that people are living in a park? Well, how about we made a facility in which these people could live in said facility in a building and not at a park shooting up heroin, so now little Susie can go play kickball at the park because Paul's not shooting up some fentanyl in the fucking bathroom. Am I speaking crazy? Is it that crazy of an idea to be able to take some money here, take some land here, and figure out a way to just help some people? I know, we're not making any money. We're gonna be in the red. How are we gonna pay for the electricity? What about the water, the bills? Fuck them. I don't care. We will make a system where that shit doesn't matter, bro. That we have failed the amount of money that we pay and things, like, we're the highest tax country on earth, but we get like literally nothing in return, right? Let's try and work on, like, if I'm gonna be taxed, at least have me be taxed for it to be worth it, okay? You're already, taxation is theft. You're already stealing my money. At least don't lie to me about it. At least I'm fine with you stealing it to go give it to make something else outside of myself better. That's fine. But when you're just straight up jacking me and then telling me, "Oh yeah, no, this is going for charity. Yeah, no, you're fine. Okay, bud." And it's really going in your back pocket, like, really? And then you're gonna get upset at me for saying, "Hey, maybe we take a pie that's 780 pieces of this fat pie. What if we took 2% of those slices and gave it to people that aren't the military?" People would be like, "Oh no, 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 are you anti-military? You cannot be anti-military." Fuck you. The money doesn't exist. We can do these things, and there's nothing to stop. And it literally benefits everybody, because then I don't even have to explain how all the mess gets cleaned up. We are gonna make that system. It's not. I'm already speaking into existence. It's already out there in the ether. No longer are we just gonna neglect people and let them just fucking rot the side of the street and then be upset when we have to see what destitution in public looks like. You know, we can make facilities for people. Hell, we can get these mental health facilities. We can get these drug facilities. There's so many things that we can do that will then, again, it's an Ouroboros. By fixing, it's crazy. It's like, if you fix the problem, you don't have to do a whole bunch of like bandaging afterwards. Like, if you get to the root cause, you don't have to just kind of keep slapping band-aids on it, right? So if we got to the root cause of a lot of these societal problems and issues that we could take little baby steps to, fix and work at, right? We could then end up preventing, like on some fucking Minority Report, we could basically nip crimes, we could nip shit in the bud before it would even happen, so that reality in which we're spending this on whatever or doing this for that thing doesn't exist, because we prevented that event from happening to begin with, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, but the legal system, that shit's expensive and costs lots of money. And being in it, you get fucked a lot. So what if we had some kind of way to give us some lube so that the fucking isn't so raw and violent? It's more a wee bit pleasurable, if you will, Because we can do these things, and I don't feel like these concepts are super, like, the food is already there and it already exists. It's already grown. We can then take that food and give it to people who aren't eating. That was a big thing with the pandemic, is millions of children no longer had a source of food because school was their only source of food. We can fix that. We have an abundance. We're not restricted. We need to. We're gonna be the change that we want to see. Our generation, we're already actively doing it. I mean, we got people like Greta Thunberg and all that doing like environmental stuff. People like I and all you guys were more open with each other about mental health and just overall. A thing I've been really fucking with this liberal PC cuck agenda that the fucking I can't even joke around and say that because I could get in trouble, but I really fuck with the tolerance and the openness that the past 10 years or so have really provided, because it's been really fucking sick to have the ability to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing 100, and that's okay. I don't have to act like everything's awesome. Not everything is awesome. Not everything's sunshine. Sometimes it's a gray day. And it's okay to be gray. And I hope you guys know. I mean, if you're listening, it's okay to be gray. And sometimes gray is great. A lot of life is gray in the greatest way. But no, for real. I love you guys, and I appreciate everyone who is listening, especially this. This is gonna be a fatty episode. We're at 3.5 now. It's already 2 in the morning. Damn, bro, I've ran. See, look at that. This is why I need meds, bro. I can't contain myself and just keep random rambling. I'm just like, fuck, bro. But no, I love each and every one of you guys, especially you guys right now that are at the fucking the base level, the base floor that are fucking with it and supporting it. Shout out the group chat, Big Daddy Larv, Crystal, Seth, Matt. Shout out Sarah, Bubby, fucking everybody, Mom, fucking Grandma, just fucking John, cousin Bridget, just fucking everybody, everybody. And if I didn't name you, I still love you. And if I don't know you, I can't love you because I don't fucking know you. But if you're fucking with me, I assume you're sick. So, when we meet up maybe in the future, I'd love to meet you. But I'm getting a wave of nausea right now. I'm on an empty gamer tummy and I need to get some grub. Get some water. Not sponsored by Gatorade, by the way. But if they want to give me some cheddar, I don't mind. It's a bottle that holds water. Need I say more? I mean, technically, it is a vessel that can contain any liquid. So, I mean, again, not sponsored. This could have G Fuel in it. This could have piss in it. This could have fucking horseradish sauce in it. It could have Worcestershire sauce in it. Put a lot of things in this. This could have bean in it right here. But I'll silence myself with the fat rip. Last little fatty bowl of the JMO here, gamers. Thank you so much, everybody who's been listening. I guess we'll do the outro here. Thanks, everybody who's been listening and who's listened to this point. I have been and always will be Evan here on the Random Rambles podcast. And I hope whatever day, state, time, whatever you're listening to this in, the rest of it and the duration of it is good. And Bean really wants me to shut up. She's like, shut the fuck up. Alright, I'll rip. Thank you guys for fucking with me. And I will, now that I have the webcam too, I will, because this is the ultimate right here. Having the video and the audio, this was like, yo, holy shit. So now that we have this and we have it set up to literally hit a fucking button when I open an app, I can get dummy and still, button, app. I can still do that. So, plenty more content to come. I mean it this time, actually. Like I had said the past couple times before I said I was going to get a camera and update and then start posting more frequently. Here I am, third episode. I got a camera, and now we are going to start uploading more frequently. I got a Twitch page coming soon, agent_orange216 on Twitch. I'll finish making that page. Then I got music coming along the way, cannabis content coming along the way, website, merch, network. We're making it all. It's all coming together, and thank you guys for supporting me. And, cheers. See? No coughs. It's smooth. No coughs. I hope everyone listening has a great rest of their time. And I will catch y'all. You know what? Put it out right here. Next time you see me, I'm going to have a fresh new Yatoo. So, I will see you guys soon. Thanks for fucking with me, and I will see you guys very soon.